Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Thursday edition of the Morning Rush, oh so close to the weekend. Golf, excessive eating, lounging, whatever you're going to do this weekend, we hope that you get ready for it because in a few Saturdays we'll have college football. 23 days out from when you take on Cincinnati. It is getting closer and closer by the day. How you doing this morning?
Man, I think this might be the first official day of the weekend. You know what I mean? I mean, it feels like we ought to crack one open this afternoon and start the weekend. But we got one more day of to get through it. And you're right about the sense of urgency. For a lot of people, this is the last weekend. Northwest Arkansas, nearly all the schools go back Monday. My kids go back the following week. So we're down to like the last weekend or two where you don't have something. If you're involved in high school football, you're about out of weekends for a while. Razorback football beginning, just depending on what you do and where you work. Weekends are becoming thin. This is kind of my last big weekend for the summer.
So what's the rationale by having different school districts go back different times? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I got some bad someone told me the state legislature set a statewide start date, which is clearly not true for public schools because some are starting the 15th, some are starting the 22nd, but I wish my kids were starting next week because I've looked at the school calendar for next year. My kids have to go back after Memorial Day for 4 days. Well, that stinks. I'd much rather start next Monday and be done before Memorial Day.
I think I think the students would agree.
It's terrible.
So
I don't know I can't explain the rationale.
For all you youngsters, and we got a senior picks conversation we'll get to at some point, but want to start out with football as we get rolling this morning. I had a conversation with the listener yesterday, and he is under the impression that Arkansas is going to go 0-4 in October and 4-0 in November.
So
and I think
Bama State, BYU,
Auburn.
And Auburn.
Yep, 0-4. That's where he thinks so. Now the answer.
Off the bye at Auburn? Ooh.
Yep. The answer, the month being the most difficult, I think is easier than a lot of questions we've asked on this show. The most difficult month of your schedule is October. And as Tommy just laid out what your schedule is, I think it's hard to come back with an argument that September or November is more difficult. But the question I have is, how wide's that gap? How much more difficult is that schedule? Think about Houston Nutt. Strong starts, sloppy Octobers, solid Novembers. It seemed like that was the characteristic of his football teams every single year. They start out 4-0, then they'd have a sloppy / okay, whatever, and then they'd finish strong in November. That's what it seemed like to me. And then you look at this football team. Let's go back to last year, right? Last year you started out 4-0. It was great. I could see so much happening for this team. You got so many tough stretches in this schedule. But that October portion, man, if you look at other SEC schedules with your non-conference opponents sprinkled in there, BYU, who I anticipate winning maybe 9 or 10 games this year, that is a difficult schedule. The good thing is they play Notre Dame in Vegas the week before they travel back to Provo. So they have a lot to look forward to.
Wait. A Catholic school and I guess it'd be a Mormon school are playing in Las Vegas?
Have you not seen that?
Oh, I'm just saying, stop and think about that for a second. Two of the more high-profile religious-based institutions are playing each other in Las Vegas.
You've been to a Catholic wedding, right? They're the most alcoholic of weddings. I've never, of any wedding that I've been to, Catholic weddings have the most booze.
Tied on, no question.
That's the most booze. Now, Mormons, it's a different story. You're probably going to have to pack your beers before you head to Provo if you make it out there. But that's kind of what your schedule sets up like now. Again, October's the most difficult of the 3 months. But what's the gap look like? How much more difficult is it when you look at your schedule? And what is the most important? Is it getting off to a good start? Is it getting to that meet? Or is it closing out strong when you look at Arkansas football this year?
You know, and all these summer conversations we've had and looking at schedules and which game's most important. And I've always thought the Auburn game might be the most important game on your schedule because of where the bye is placed and where those games ahead of you fall in the ranking of difficulty. I know A&M falls at the end of September, but you really throw that 4-game stretch in there from A&M through Bama, Mississippi State, and BYU. I mean, Arkansas could be a improved team and a good team and go 1-3 in that stretch. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility. In fact, I'd say if Vegas put odds on it, it's not going to be way down on the board as far as 1-3 through there. That's why that bye week to heal up mentally and physically is going to be so important and well placed. But, man, there's just a deflation that I think is magnified when you come off a bye and you lose. Man, you've got that extra week of rest. Let's see, Auburn, before they play Arkansas, let me get over here. They have a bye week too,
yeah,
so that's going to be
have a bye.
Both have a bye. Well, so that's a swing game, a huge game for both Auburn and Arkansas. So that might be where your season goes. That might be a fork in the road there. That's kind of how I've seen it all year long. That's a fork in the road for how the rest of your season may go.
You set yourself up for the back half of your schedule where you close out with 3 of your final 4 games being at home. Liberty, LSU, Ole Miss. They all come to Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Hugh Freeze, Brian Kelly, and Lane Kiffin. They have to go through you as a fan base to get a victory and the team itself. I like the back half of your schedule. As Tommy said, you win that Auburn game, you set yourself up for what could be a fun finish to this year. And there are so many fun parts of the schedule. We've talked about it. This schedule is just exploding with games and players and coaches that you want to watch. Maybe you want to watch them in person at Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Maybe you want to listen to them right here on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. Watch them on ESPN, CBS. You're going to get at least one CBS game. The start will probably be that Texas A&M Arkansas one, and then maybe you get Alabama that following week, and depending on how the schedule and how you play the rest of the way, you're going to have another one. But there's going to be a lot of good upcoming games, and Missouri too, a lot of good upcoming marquee games that you'll have in front of you this year. I don't anticipate. You got one 11 a.m. scheduled right now, and that's the South Carolina game when Spencer Rattler and company come to town. I don't expect, and I could be wrong, but I don't expect you playing a ton of 11 a.m. games to set up if you're an Arkansas fan.
Well, I don't expect Arkansas to go 4-0 in September, and I don't expect them to go 0-4 in October. But you could very well end up 4-4 after 8 games. I mean, that might be more likely than either of the previous 2 statements.
3-1, 1-3.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think 4-0 is unrealistic. I think 0-4, honestly. I think this coaching staff's too good. I think these players are too good, more importantly. I just think KJ Jefferson, if healthy, and I fully expect him to be durable and get you through the season, I just think that this team is too good. I know you can look at – they've given Alabama a ride and won the game, but the gap between Arkansas and Bama isn't the Grand Canyon any longer. I'm not saying they're going to win in Fayetteville, but, this is a team that's going to give them a problem. I think they are much better than Mississippi State, and – we'll see how that unfolds at this point. So I don't think 4-0 start's going to happen. I don't think an 0-4 October is going to happen either. Hey, if you're traveling or listening or driving through Central Arkansas right now, you need to get by the Wood Grill Buffet in Benton. They're open Thursday through Sunday from 10:45 to 8:30 with 30 meats, 55 side items, 70 salad items, 25 desserts that are on the buffet. So there's something for everyone, and whether you are famished and you want to eat like a pig or you're just trying to eat light, they've got something for you. It's comfort food at its absolute finest. Find them at 1916 Congo Road in Benton. That's just off exit 118 right behind the IHOP. See the menus and more online at woodgrillbuffetbenton.com. That's woodgrillbuffetbenton.com.
Arkansas takes on Barcelona at 1:30 today. This is not going to be a walk in the park as Valencia was. We'll talk about that game coming up. Stay with us. It's The Morning Rush.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is former Razorback kicker Zach Hawker. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Just watching her blonde hair sunburn, stare at them white caps rolling over.
Clay Maxey Auto Group.
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait! Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe can get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Now wrestle the
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 3, number 4.
We got that wood right here, baby.
Somebody better look at this guy. He's the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
Watch the Morning Rush on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Just search Hit That Line.
It's hard to believe that was 15 years ago. That Houston, 2007. That is hard to believe. That just seems like that was 6 years. No, it's been 15 years. I mean, you're probably at that age you don't think about things like that. But at my age, that just seemed like yesterday, Ty. And
one of my favorite memories as a kid.
We were talking about Houston Nutt earlier and some of the starts he'd have and then tail off in October. But that was a season, particularly that you had a high water mark. But just seems so like let's say 7 or 8 years ago, Derek McFadden and Felix Jones were out there. Well, we're all getting older. 15 years ago or so.
Changed a little bit. Yeah. Let's talk about this basketball team playing at 1:30 today, coming up in just a sec. That is a basketball team that is not going to face the same opponent they played on Tuesday. This will be much more of a difficult task ahead of them as they take on Barcelona. I know a lot of you know Barcelona, the 1 or 2 teams that that play soccer. They have a basketball program, too, that finished first in their division, Liga Endesa, is I think how you say it. We'll talk about this team coming up in just a bit.
Hey, tomorrow we'll have our Fence Man Friday picks for you. We're always glad to tell you about the Fence Man because they're the company you can trust when it comes to building a fence, a gate, or any project that you got going on with the Fence Man. 782-3936. They'll serve you wherever you're listening this morning. I've heard Sean talk about going to Mena to help customers, going to Bentonville to help customers, Russellville, Eastern Oklahoma. They do work everywhere, both commercial and residential. So if you got sagging gates that need repair, you got a brand new home that has no fence and you're ready for one, or you want to upgrade at work to have controlled access with automatic gates, they do all kinds of fencing and gating projects. 782-3936. At 782-3936, the Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
This will be a better litmus test of what your basketball team is. Barcelona has a few guys that played college ball and in the NBA. Alex Abrinas played for my Oklahoma City Thunder. Nikola Mirotic played for the Bulls and some other teams. And the one that him and Bobby Portis got into it a little bit. Bobby got the better of him that day. Brad Davies played for BYU. I think he was with Jimmer for Dead, if I remember. He had Dante Exum for the Jazz, Nick Kalatis for the Grizzlies. Nigel Hayes was on that Wisconsin team that beat Kentucky in that Final Four back in, I think, 2000 and what was that, 15, I think is what it was. That Kentucky team that was undefeated and they got bounced by the Badgers in the Final Four. So this is a talented team you're facing off against today. This is no walk in the park, and they got their work cut out for them. And if you missed Tuesday, I think it's going to be something you want to watch. Now, you can pirate it, you can bootleg it, there'll be streams and stuff, or there's a backdoor way Andrew Hutchinson found, Best of Arkansas Sports. You pay $12.50, which saves you $17.50. And now, since it's 3 games instead of 4, what's $12.50 divided by 3? That's like $4.25 or $4.15 or whatever it is. So it's a lot cheaper. And I think it's going to be worth it to watch this basketball team today. Again, they might lose today. And I think Eric Musselman knows that. And in all likelihood, they probably are going to lose today with all the names that I just listed off.
Yeah. So that was what I sit over here waiting to ask you is, would it be, I know it's counterintuitive to ever talk or think this way, but would it be a good thing for this team to lose a game over there? I mean, everything that's came out of our mouths, any of the shows on our air, fan talk, and listen, I don't want to pee on the campfire at all about the excitement, but you could see the benefit of what the coaches would have to work with if they get exposed on some things. I don't know that you got to lose, but maybe you got to struggle. Maybe you got to have some things that come on film. I don't believe there's probably, and I'm not there, I don't think they're having a lot of off-day practices right now and maybe some walkthroughs in the hotel, meeting room or something, but they're not, this trip's a lot more about fun and togetherness and bonding than it is maybe about basketball at times. But I think these 4 games and the film from it will serve for a lot of coaching points when they get back together to start things and in their workouts. So no one wants to root for your team to lose, and I'm not saying that at all. But I think having some things exposed by a better team could certainly serve some value today.
What's the greatest loss in sports history? Thrown loss. In any scrimmage, any game, whatever.
Oh, wouldn't it be that exhibition maybe with the Dream Team in '92?
Good job. They played a college team. Chuck Daly intentionally didn't play Michael Jordan. He switched up the lineups as much as possible so no one could get in a rhythm. They lost to Bobby Hurley and company. The best team ever assembled in any sport lost to a bunch of college jokers because Chuck Daly intentionally threw that game so these guys that think they're the best in the world, which they are, would listen to him and would be coachable.
Yeah.
And then he somehow, some way, even though he assembled the Jordan rules, bonded with Michael Jordan, and that team went on in Barcelona, of all places, which is kind of funny since we're talking about playing Barcelona, and dominated everyone. The closest game, I think, was like 40 points or something. And Muss is not going to intentionally throw this game, but losses more than wins bond a team. Anyone that's played a sport, you hate to lose more than you love to win. That's if you find someone like that, if you find someone that hates losing more than he loves winning, there's probably a good chance that you're going to win a lot of football, basketball, baseball games, or whatever it be. So in this case, when they probably lose today,
wow,
this is going to be good. I mean, I just listed off the roster. You want to predict a win with this one? I don't think so, man. I hope I'm wrong.
If you're going to lose, let's do it in a game where it doesn't count. I mean, that's what you've got over here. These are 4 games that don't count. But to me, the value in making this trip, if you want to get the most out of it besides beach time, great pasta and pizza, and whatever else they're going to do, I'd love to go to Switzerland, man. This is a trip you'd love to be on if you're part of that basketball program. So once-in-a-lifetime deal. Those things are far more important, but the thing you need to take out of it basketball-wise is some things to coach on, like we were talking about. Being exposed on your weaknesses is exactly what they need. So they need a tough test or two. Then they probably need to end with a game kind of like what they had the other day and leave with some confidence. But there is nothing wrong with having a challenge or even a loss, like you said, in a game like this today that doesn't affect your record, doesn't count for anything, because all this team has heard is how great they are.
And that's exactly
some balance.
I'm going to take that and run with it, because if you think about the headlines, the individual players, this basketball team, as Eric Musselman and Keith Smart and Gus Argent and Anthony Root and that whole staff would continue to tell these players, it's like you have to prove yourself. You're 0. I guess you want to count last game. You're 1-0 at this point. Technically, you're still 0-0 in games that count. They have a lot to prove this year. Think Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee are just going to wilt because you brought in the second best recruiting class because you have the number 1 player. No, you have to go earn it. And it starts in these exhibition games. And it starts in team chemistry. It starts about this is a huge part of what will happen and what will transpire in March when they play games that they could be sent home and be done after this year.
So if they win convincingly today, what does that say?
It says you have a really good basketball team.
Jamie texted that in. I guess he's done his research. He said Barcelona lost their last 2 in June, but
to Real Madrid, yes, correct.
So probably a different level, but
the second best team in the Spanish division.
All right, so there you go. So if Arkansas wins today, that might give us another indication about the excitement you should have for this team. Hey, today you're going to be back at Hardee's, another chance. We're running out of chances to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime's 17th annual Thick Burger Eating Contest. You'll be at the Hardee's on
Phoenix 1820 Phoenix Avenue. Come by and see me till 1 o'clock today. We're going to get you ready for the annual football trip of a lifetime, the 17th. Chiefs and Titans, your chance to qualify. Eat one in 90 seconds or less.
Listen online at hitthatline.com.
Thanks, Tommy. Enjoy your show.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. game. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Picture another world, another dimension, one of space, one of time, one where chicken on made-from-scratch biscuits only costs $1. This place exists, and it's called the Hardee's app. So when you buy one hand-breaded chicken biscuit, you get another for just $1. Cluckbait. It's time to fall for some cluckbait. Bite into the hand-breaded chicken menu only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Available for limited time during regular breakfast hours at participating restaurants. Exclusively in the Hardee's app or website by registered My Rewards members. Tax not included. See app or website for additional terms and conditions.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Arkansas Valley Electric members living in Knoxville and Augsburg and surrounding areas, you can now sign up. Wave Rural Connect Internet is available for you. Fast fiber internet, TV, and even phone service. Internet starting at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone for $29.95. Sign up now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Lou is down there, lost in the middle of this. See him? There he is. He's in there yelling and hollering to leave it alone. We need it. Season's not over yet. As Brewers passes away into the end zone, incomplete on the final score. Arkansas 42, Texas 11.
Razorback football is coming. Catch updates from Sam Pittman, KJ Jefferson, and others right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Jalen Catalon's going to be your comeback player of the year in the Southeastern Conference. I'm going ahead and call my shot like Babe Ruth.
Well, say that again.
Jalen Catalon is going to be the comeback player of the year in this conference. I'm going to call my shot like Babe Ruth.
All right. You may be right on that.
Did I say something
No,
wrong
I
there?
thought it was so good you needed to repeat it.
Okay. I was confused if I had said something, because I often stumble occasionally. I just wanted to make sure
I was
said
about half
that.
listening. I just want to make sure I heard what you said. So, Jalen Catalon, comeback player of the year. Let's talk about that. Hey, we're brought to you by the Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher from Pradco, the go-to lure for Jason Christie, the 22 Bassmaster Classic champion. They also have the Pop and Pad Crasher Junior, so if you're going to do some weekend fishing, we got a little bit cooler weather right now, may heat up a little bit more for the weekend. If you're on that Arkansas River, frog fishing, it's one of the best things to do. It's a fun thing to do right now, and particularly in the summertime. The Pop and Pad Crasher Junior is the right size, has the right hook set up to help you catch it. Find it at lurenet.com. Tackle stores everywhere. It's the Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher. So why do you believe Jalen Catalon will be the comeback player of the year? Obviously, he was lost half the year to injury. Why do you think above everyone else's situation, that's the tag he'll get at the end of the year?
I think as a redshirt freshman, he was such a vital part of this football team in 2020. The targeting penalties he had against LSU and Missouri, when they took him out of the game, you just defensively you fell apart. Now last year you look at it, he goes out. Was it after the Ole Miss game that he was like, I can't do it anymore? I kind of remember him talking to Clay because he had
game 6.
He had that interception against Ole Miss, dropped it, and he was just like, I'm not the player. Him and Coach Pim decided, it's probably best we go and get this surgery. Bo Nix, if I remember correctly, torches them the next game, and then they kind of figured it out in the secondary after that. But for me, the reason why I think he's going to be the comeback player in the SEC is because he's not just a presence that's known in Arkansas. Roman Harper, all these guys that are Takeo Spikes, all these guys that are working for the SEC Network and ESPN defensively that particularly cover the SEC, they know who Jalen Catalon is. Now, some of you are going to hate this comparison, but it's just true. At 5'10", I think he's $190, if I remember that right. He looks and plays like Earl Thomas. He's 200 pounds, less than 200 pounds. He looks and plays like Earl Thomas. Legion of Boom, Seattle Seahawks, and he also played for the Texas Longhorns, which I know you probably hate. Oh, why a Texas player? Because they play the exact same way. They're undersized. The football IQ is off the charts, and they will deliver blow after blow. Jalen Catalon has a lot of comparisons to guys that played at Arkansas. I know that Clay Henry's talked to him about some of the great safeties that in Arkansas. I mean, you think about Atwater, Hamlin. I know Bua played it a little bit. Arkansas
Kenoy Kennedy's another name you better have in there.
A guy that we've had on this show before who was gracious with his time.
All great. Probably Atwater, the greatest of them all.
Yeah. No, and I don't know if
2 Super Bowls, Hall of Fame. I don't, but he's probably the greatest of them all.
Yeah, Steve Atwater.
All of those guys great.
The Smiling Assassin, also the best nickname that maybe Arkansas football has ever had. But Jalen, from people I've talked to, and he's got some NIL deals like that, he is about as good of a dude that you come into contact with. So maybe that's else. It's just from the different business owners and the people that have done stuff with him. He's like, yeah, he's just a great guy. And when you hear that about someone, that makes you believe in them even more. Right, and Clay's been very outspoken that he's fun to talk to, and they had that long conversation out on the football field. Jalen has he doesn't necessarily have the body type, right? Because 5'10", less than 200, that is a jump off the page. But you can make up for that, as Earl Thomas has done, as others have done. Other Razorbacks, you think about some of the best players in Arkansas history, they don't exactly have the size, they don't exactly have the speed, but they have the heart, and they have the mind. And Jalen definitely has that. And you think about the tenacity that he plays with on a weekly basis. And the plays that he made, you probably don't win that Rice game last year without Jalen Catalon's 2 interceptions. You think back to that game, I think that was a 3-point ball game in the fourth quarter, if I remember that right. Arkansas at one point was down in that game. Jalen Catalon makes play after play. He's the one that set the tone 2 years ago against Ole Miss, where Matt Corral ended up throwing 6 picks. He took that pick 6 back to the house, set the tone for that defense. He just makes play after play after play. The comparison that Clay has made is Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. He is just all over the field, whether it's forcing fumbles, interceptions, big hits. The guy just is a gamer. And my goodness gracious, Tommy, when he put out that video that we all thought, well, crap, he's gone. It's the goodbye. We're not going to see you again until you come back for another game. And it said, and I can't remember how the video went, it was like, the journey continues or something like that. And people lost their freaking mind.
Obviously, it's a big lift for the defense. To me, because, I mean, he's your quarterback. I mean, there's a reason that people were that excited. Here's the thing I ponder and wonder is, obviously, he's got to be smarter because how did the shoulder get injured? Laying hard hits, just the wear and tear from the amount of contact he delivered. He also, as you pointed out accurately, missed time because of targeting calls. Does he have to play where you dial that back a little bit because, A, you don't want to miss any of the season because he's trying to put an NFL resume together on tape, and you want to be out there for your team. As a year of or a half a season of watching from the sidelines, all the rehab, all the things he had to go through, giving him maybe a little bit different perspective on how he goes about playing the game. I know there's only one way to do it in some people's minds, but you got to be smart enough in taking care of your body and also taking care of you and your teammates to be out there. Will we see a little bit of a different Jalen Catalon from that regard?
I think when there's two separate things. There's leading with your helmet, try not to get targeting, and then there's just playing football, right?
There's also not leading with your shoulder, too.
Yeah. You're asking the question, I think if you played football a certain way for all these years, you keep, in my mind, that's the only way you know how to play. Larry Bird, for example, he had the back injuries for all those years. Mm-hmm. He only played one way. Getting after it, lunch pail guy, just kept on doing it. Had these excruciating back injuries that he just played through because he only knew how to play one way. Now, maybe Jalen completely changes his identity this year, but I think that he's going to play the exact same way. The hard-hitting, back-end safety that if you throw that ball across the middle, you're going to get popped. He does not. Again, that's my. Now, maybe, as you said, maybe sitting on the sidelines, not being able to help out your team has given him a chance. I don't think so. I think he's going to play the exact same way that he's always played because that's why he's so good. Because even at his size, even at his frame, I mean, you can make a case for Bumper Pool, but is there a harder hitter on this team than Jalen Catalon? Can you point at a guy and say, and maybe it's a defensive lineman that you don't want running at you full speed, but the hits that you've seen, the two guys, highlight reel stand out, are two. It's Bumper Pool and Jalen Catalon. There's not another one that you say, man, this guy's a bunch of big hits. It's those two guys.
But those highlight reel hits are usually the ones that lead to the targeting calls. So, I mean, there's just a fine line, and you got to instill fear in your opponent. They've got to know that if they come across that middle, they come in your part of the field, there's a price to pay. I just will find it interesting. I don't know that it'll change a thing. I just know that if you've been sidelined due to injury, you don't want to repeat that. So there's ways to, there's techniques on how you tackle. I mean, so I think as Ryan said, if you don't lead with the head or the shoulder, what do you lead with? Well, I mean, you've seen him where they jump in and use that shoulder to deliver the blow, trying to avoid the helmet contact. Enough of those is how you end up with the shoulder problem he had. So there is, ways. At the end of the day, if someone has caught the ball, you need to tackle them. And you don't have to have a highlight reel tackle in order to do that. The thing you really want is to create incomplete passes in your area because of the way you break up passes, the way you guard the defender, the way you make it tough on a quarterback to thread a needle. So I'll just be interested to see. There may be no noticeable difference at all, and that's exactly the what you're going to hear out of Catalon or out of Barry Odom or anyone else you talk to about it. But it's far more important to me that he plays 12 games and he's effective back there. Can he be effective without being the guy that always has to, knock somebody out?
Well, I think the reason you see smaller guys with shoulder injuries is because they a lot of times have to tackle that way. Mm-hmm. That's just the difference between a guy that is 6'5" and a guy that's 5'10". That's why they have those type of things. So if that's how he has to play, and it's still, again, it has to deal with it, then that's how he has to do it. That's what you have to deal with as an undersized guy, which Jalen is, over the course of his career. That's why you hear a lot of safeties that are getting smaller have those shoulder type of injuries. And it's just, football's a physical sport, right? I just don't, I don't see Jalen taking a step back from what has made him such a great football player in these, basically, in the year and a half we've seen him. That's how I look at this whole thing. That's what's made you that.
But what's he want? What's his ultimate goal? That's to play in the NFL. And another shoulder injury, but you can't predict injury. But you do know there's a history there. So a second one would be a devastating blow to his resume and create a lot of questions. And I don't know how many draft slots or rounds that would cost you, but it's not going to help you move up. It's obviously going to move you down in the draft order.
He's torn his ACL. He's had the shoulder surgery. I mean, he could break his collarbone. I mean, it's football, right? Yeah. He's just, some guys are injury prone.
But those are all check marks against you with the NFL.
Yeah, but you could get injured playing every single day, right? So whether it's Dorian Gerald, Cody Walker, I mean, some guys are just prone to injury. Traylon Burks had his ACL in high school. Luckily, I think he was only out one game in his career at Arkansas, if I remember that right. You saw with Jalen last year. Some guys, it's a part of their career, and he has to deal with it. So I don't know what percentage if he changed up his tackle motion went up, and that's just minutia. We don't really care about that stuff. We just want him to play football, and we want him to be a good, outstanding player. He's an All-American candidate. He's been that preseason on a ton of lists. He's up for the Jim Thorpe Award, one of the best. Is it safety or corners in college football? What's that award?
Safeties.
Defensive back or whatever it is. He's going to be up for that if he plays. And I just think, like, some guys just make it through 3 or 4 years injury-free. Other guys, they don't have the luck on their side. And I think at this point, in this category, it's just a luck thing, man. Can he make it this season and get lucky? That's what it boils down to be honest.
Point I'm trying to make is I don't think it's all just luck. I think it's how you take care of your body and the technique by which you play, that there are certain ways you can play at that position that make you more injury prone. And I think there's some of the way he has went in and tried to deliver those devastating hits that lead to the injuries he's had. So that's my point is, does he change anything about the style or the way he goes about his business out there to guard against another, season-ending injury? Because the way he goes about his business is lethal, and that's what makes him one of the best safeties in this conference, if not the country. But at the end of the day and the end of the year, he wants to be selected in the NFL draft. So that's the question I'm asking is, do you see any change in his game as a result of that thought process?
Here's what I would ask off that. When Steve Atwater was here, did he have a season or two that he missed? Was he injury-prone? Because you talk about a guy that just threw his body in there regardless, right? What do you remember about his time at Arkansas? Did he have games he missed? Did he have seasons he missed?
Well, you also got to remember we weren't in the targeting era then. There was no, it was glorified, those kind of hits. It was a different day in the game. Now, I mean, we're not talking only injuries here. We're talking about being set down for a game or the next game
Correct.
or a half of a game for targeting. So, I mean,
I
don't think the comparison's fully the same.
Well, what I'm asking is, do you remember him getting injury prone? Was there
No, I don't.
season but he played with reckless abandon, right? So some guys in some situations just make it through seasons without that. Steve, based on what you're saying, because I didn't watch that, was able to avoid those type of injuries.
But we already know Jalen hasn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, some guys, it just happens. They just play football and they just get injured. He didn't have it. Play the exact same way as Jalen did. Jalen has that. That's what. And your argument is, should he change up his thing? Some guys, they play the same type of way. Mm-hmm. Player A gets injured. Player B does not. Body type, luck, whatever it may be. That's what you're faced with. It comes down to, sometimes it's just a bit of luck. Now, sometimes, as you're talking about, it's that, but sometimes it's just luck. Because if you look at how they play similar, right? Flying over the middle, big time hits, coming after you. I don't know how tall Steve is and what his weight was back in the day. We just listed Jalen's. That's the difference. Sometimes it's a luck thing, man. That's all it comes. And when it sucks, if you're a football player and you can't stay on the field. And again, he's had some bad injuries. I mean, ACL. Anyone of y'all been in an ACL injury? It ain't fun. Shoulder. That's probably especially as you get older, I think from our friends, the people we've talked to, that might be the worst of anything they've had to go through. It's a shoulder or collarbone or anything up top. It sucks. And I hope for Jalen's sake, we're talking about, and we mentioned earlier in fall camp, you just stay healthy. Not just him, but everyone else on this roster. Because that's the biggest thing of fall camp. As they start shoulder pads today, you hope that every single one of these guys, the next about 3.5 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, just stays healthy. Now, it's not going to be that way. Unfortunately, we're probably going to get some bad news in the next couple practices, next couple weeks or so that, hey, so-and-so had this, or, hey, we don't know about so-and-so, he went down, whatever. That's not what you want to hear, but, Tommy, as they start pads today, that's probably what you're going to hear at some point.
Well, I think you practice different than you play. I mean, it's not like today's the first bit of contact they've had. They've been in shoulder pads and shorts for a few practices now, and they had the day off yesterday. But there will be some soreness that you don't have until you have full contact and tackle to the ground. It's not like they're trying to get in shape. These guys stay in shape. They're there all summer long. But you've got to get through this. And Coach has talked about this. You practice smart. You don't hit, you thud up guys. And, that's a term that's been thrown around a lot the last few years because it's part of practicing smarter. Kind of like what I'm talking about with Catalan. You don't go full out. You don't try to kill yourself. Now, if you're on the scout team, there's probably some periods where those guys are getting beat up pretty good because you got to deliver some of those hits. But, you're not hitting, these first-line guys, these for starters, they're not going to have an excessive amount of contact because there's only so many of those in the tank for the year. And you've got to practice in August to get through October and November. Mm-hmm. So they'll be smart about it, and you'll hear the term thud up quite a bit over the next few weeks.
Two things. What's the penalty if someone hits and takes down KJ Jefferson? Number two, death. Number two, the thud up, if we went through practice, if Bumper Pool or Jalen tried to thud us up, how quick will we actually go down?
Oh, even though thudding us up's different than thudding up,
Rocket,
Hazelwood or Rocket or Don. I don't know Dominic's where he stands right now. He's got that, but anyway, he would be one. If you thudded him up, it'd be a different deal than thudding one of us.
Thudding us up, they'd take us down. I've always thought about that, and I've seen like television shows where they joke about hitting the starting quarterback and they hit him, and the coach goes just ballistic. But what happened if like a freshman just was an idiot or something, and they got into, or a scout team defender was in like a situation, and instead of just, doing the classic tap on the shoulder with KJ, he took him to the ground. Would that player stop running the rest of practice? I think that Sam would just say, hey, just go start running.
Just start running home.
Just start running
Just
home.
go run by the dorm, run by your apartment, get your things, and just be Forrest Gump. You just keep running.
I was watching Major League yesterday. Y'all know the iconic red tape scene where they have the different players, Taylor and what's Charlie Sheen's character in that movie? Wild Thing. What's his first name? Major League.
Ricky Vaughn.
Ricky Vaughn. And like they're scared to open up their locker. I don't know how much red tape is ever used in college football, but the player that tackled KJ Jefferson, there would be a red tape and a note that says, "Come see Coach. You're cut. Coach, I can't be cut. I'm on scholarship. You're cut. You're out of here."
But back to my other point, Catalan can't hit people with the fierce intensity that Ricky Vaughn hit Dorn going through that locker room that day. That's how you injure yourself and your teammate. You got to thud him up. He did not thud up Dorn in the locker room that day. He took him all the way into the middle of the lockers.
That was that scene. Can you imagine being a professional athlete and having one of your teammates do that to you, where you're on the brink of getting cut or not, and then they joke with you and screw with you? I'd probably do the same thing that Ricky Vaughn did.
Now, Vaughn was a little slow moving. There wasn't a lot of speed with which he moved towards Dorn. It kind of had a slow first step, to be honest, if you break down the film.
And you know what? He got him back later when Dorn stepped out, or Dorn's wife stepped out on him. That was definitely something. I love that scene where there's all this tension, and Dorn's walking up, and Vaughn's just sitting there like, oh my gosh, what is he about to do? And Vaughn
he's on the mound and gets the ball.
And Dorn gives him the ball. Just like, strike this mother bleeper out. That was like one of the. And
you scared me there for a second.
And Vaughn just like looks at him and it's like, all right, a sigh of relief just came off his chest. Man, that's a good movie. That is a great movie.
Yeah, great's a better way to describe it. So anyway, you're going to start hearing some things Saturday. I don't know what will leak out. Media doesn't get to watch any. Coach will talk after. So, I mean, we'll glean from that by the inquisition that will follow.
The Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to figure out exactly what happened on Saturday. Speaking of Spanish Inquisitions, the basketball team's in Spain. So I guess we can pivot to that for just a second. I know we're going to come back to it some more. You were laying out earlier, hey, this is not a bad basketball team they're playing. This won't be the rec league team they played earlier this week. Real challenge with some NBA-level players that lost a couple of games in their deal. I don't fully understand all these international leagues, but you've laid it out pretty good this morning that this will be a far greater challenge today for the Razorbacks just after lunchtime.
Number one in the league, several NBA and former college players. Nigel Hayes at Wisconsin, Brad Davis at BYU. Kalathis played for all you Grizzly fans out there. Nikola Mirotic is the one that got in a fight with Bobby Portis. Several dudes on this roster that have played professionally or in college ball. They did lose their final 2 games to Real Madrid. I feel like I'm talking soccer this morning, talking Barcelona and Real Madrid. But yeah, this is a stiff competition that you're facing off today. And I would not be surprised if they lose. I hope I'm wrong, because if they win, it's like, man, this team's pretty good. But as we addressed earlier this morning, it's not a terrible thing if they lose. And I hope they get punched in the mouth a little bit. I hope that, because I want to see Jalen Williams was so, not only to hit clutch shots last year, but he was an absolute beast down low. And they've got some guys that kind of are in that 6'7", 6'10" range that can block shots, that can rebound, that can dunk. But I want to see who can get elbowed in the mouth and is going to get back up and spit the blood in the opponent's face. Now, are they going to have that today? Probably not. But you will have that in SEC play. And so, again, hopefully this game is a little tenacious today. I hope there's some spats. I hope there's a little jawing back and forth, because I want to see how these, again, it's one thing to dominate high school basketball or dominate all-star events. It's another thing to have success at the college level. And yes, you're playing former college players and former professional players. But this is a pretty good, again, atmosphere to step into today.
Hey, you got so many young guys on this team that aren't even 20 yet. Some aren't even 19
they
yet.
Can't drink a beer.
So you might be able to in Europe. I'm not sure. I think the age over there is lower. They may be in business this week. But how does Nick Smith or Joseph Pinion or Anthony Black, or we know there's 6 inbound freshmen on this team. We won't go through it. Barry Dunning, about listed them all. How do they fare playing against like you say, a 23-year-old, a 25-year-old, a grown man? And I'm sure they've played in, was it the Dunbar League down there in Central Arkansas, the summer leagues? I don't know if these guys have played in any of that stuff. That's grown man basketball down there. I've heard the stories. I haven't seen it firsthand.
It's not something I could compete in.
It's a little tougher than your church league. All right, so that might be similar to what they're up against here today. How does an 18 or 19-year-old freshman deal with the physicality, particularly on Arkansas's defensive end? I think that's the thing to watch in this game is how does the defensive intensity change? Musselman talked about that. I mean, we didn't watch the entire thing, but if you just read what Nick Smith had to say, what Eric Musselman had to say, that's the biggest change they need from Game 1 over there a couple of days ago to today is step up the defensive intensity. Do we see a change there today?
I hope so. 1:30 is that start. Flow Sports. Again, backdoor coverway. Go to bestofarkansassports.com. You'll find Andrew Hutchinson's piece. How to get it for $12.50.
All-American Thursday at Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith. You can get the classic burger. You can get their barbecue sandwich on special today. Love tomorrow's special. It's Fajita Friday. Chicken and beef fajitas are on special tomorrow at Joe's. Saturday, it's dollar tacos again all day. The 8-inch beef burrito is on sale for $3. And don't forget, when the games roll around in 23 days, every game on TV, which they're all on TV, half-price apps and taps during the game. Joe's Grill and Cantina, South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Talk a little more football when we come back.
How much life can you fit in a 2022 Toyota RAV4?
Hon, can you grab me a swan float? They're in the RAV4.
The pink one or the yellow one?
How about 69.8 cubic feet for inflatable fun?
Want me to put the address in the RAV4's GPS?
No. I know exactly where yeah.
Thought so.
Up to 40 miles of uncharted terrain per gallon.
Get in the RAV4. Get in the RAV4. I did not expect mountain lions out here.
That's a cat.
But it's big though, right?
Yeah, big kitty.
That's 37.7 inches of headroom for tall tales.
Hey, pull into that taco stand here. I'm starving. I'm grabbing 2 number 4s.
And grab 2 for me.
and 2 to 4 number 4s for the largest appetites. The numbers add up. It's amazing how much life you can fit in a 2022 Toyota RAV4. Visit your local dealer or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability. EPA estimated 41 city, 38 highway, 40 combined MPG for 2022 RAV4 XSE hybrid.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Farewell complications. Later stress. Goodbye business hours. Want a new level of banking convenience? Say hello to the Arvest Go mobile banking app from Arvest Bank. With Arvest Go, you can deposit checks, pay bills, log lost or stolen debit cards. You can even pay people directly with just a tap. Arvest Go lets you bank virtually anytime, anywhere. And it's only from Arvest Bank. Goodbye limits, hello possibilities. Arvest Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you looking for a career that is in demand and will provide you and your family the living you all deserve? Are you willing to put in the time to learn that profession? If the answer is yes, you need to contact United Welding Institute today. Welders are in demand in-state and across the country for many different types of welding. United Welding Institute has recently placed students from the River Valley with very high-paying employers, and they want to do the same for you. Call today and make an appointment for your future. 479-968-3390. That's 479-968-3390 for United Welding Institute in Pottsville, and tell them you heard it on ESPN Arkansas.
Looking for a way to feed a crowd? Think Golden Corral. Banquets, weddings, birthdays, or any sort of gathering. Golden Corral can handle all of your catering needs, from plate and serve to buffet style as well. They also offer a selection of menus and packages customized to meet the needs of the client. For your next catering event, visit their website at grocatering.com or call Mariah at 522-7958. Relax. Golden Corral has you covered.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith is open and ready to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations available for ages 5 and up and the new second booster for ages 50 and up. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your booster appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Visit Metters Lumber True Value for great deals on the supplies you need most. Right now, select your choice of Four Seasons Courtyard Green Deluxe Sports Chair or Blue Oversized Padded Quad Armchair for just $39.99. And keep your furnace working properly with your choice of Filtrete Ultra Allergen Furnace Filters. They're only $17.99. We can also help meet storage needs with your choice of Sterlite 18-gallon storage tote. Get these bargains of the month from Metters Lumber True Value while supplies last. Certain exclusion supplies, see store for details.
The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors has all your fishing gear for summer trips at the lake or river. Check out the fishing kayaks by Old Town and New Canoe. Summer savings up to $300 off select model. Get ready for fall archery season now with a new bow by Hoyt, Matthews, Elite, and Bowtech. Jelco has the largest selection of box blinds for fall hunting. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors during the good old summertime. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road Ready premium pre-owned vehicles, each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather. For today, plenty of sunshine. We could encounter a few isolated showers or storms across the south. Our high into the upper 80s. Tonight, mainly clear sky. Overnight lows in the mid to upper 60s. Friday, blue skies, sunshine. Our high near 90. And Saturday, near 90 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Sportsman.
They've not exactly threes against the zone here. Out and running, my goodness gracious! Trevin Brazil!
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatOne.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir. All right, if we polled our Morning Rush audience right now, do you think they're more excited about Pad starting today or this game against Barcelona at 1:30 on Flow Sports, which you can only hear on Flow Sports? Well, I wish I could tell you on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com, but you know what? They decided not to send the man, the myth, the legend, Chuck Barrett, which it will ever be a mistake on their part.
So if I said that it's the basketball game, I don't think I'm wrong. I mean, I know it's not a game that counts, but it's an actual game. Practice has been going on a few days. Full pads coming on means they're putting on their football pants with the the thigh and the hip pads and all that stuff. That's basically the difference in full contact, I guess, can happen. So I'm a little more intrigued and excited. In fact, I'm a lot more intrigued and a lot more excited about how this basketball game unfolds today.
Yeah, I've definitely set aside time in my schedule to watch that game because I am excited about that. So basketball you're excited about. You're excited about this upcoming football season, too. 23 days out from when you take on Cincinnati. September, October, November. Which 4-game set do you care about more? Now, everyone listening right now, I would guess, has Bama at 1, right? Or the majority of our audience says you want to beat Bama more than anyone else on this upcoming schedule.
Now, obviously, the coaches poll has Bama at 1. I'm not sure that it's as big a gap as you think. I think A&M, I mean, we know how you feel about that. I think there's other teams on this schedule people want to beat. I think the mindset of our audience and the mindset of a lot of fans is, Alabama, unfortunately, has been a foregone conclusion. You put an L by that. You'd like to change that. There's been some closer games, but to make or break your season, games like Ole Miss and Mississippi State, this year South Carolina, Missouri, some of those games are far more important to win those games as far as your place in the division and probably bowl status as well.
I had a thought late last night that might be the worst thought I've ever had, but I still believe it. I think Arkansas has a better chance to beat Alabama if they start out 3-1 than rather than 4-0. I really do.
Okay, explain that.
Here's why. You start out with 3 straight wins against Cincinnati, South Carolina, Missouri State, and you lose a nail-biter A&M, which unfortunately you've done the past decade or so. I know you beat them finally last year. That gives Alabama more reason to look past you for that following week when they take on A&M. So, they just lost to A&M. The real matchup is next week. And I know Nick Saban will say that's rat poison stuff. They won't do it. They're already looking ahead to A&M. Every single player from Alabama at SEC Media Days touched on that A&M game. Some unprompted. Will Anderson just brought it out of the blue. Now, you start out 4-0, and again, this is my thought alone. You start out 4-0, they're going to do everything in that locker room, talking about Alabama, to remind them that, hey, this Arkansas team is ready. Arkansas, not to say they couldn't win that game if you start out 4-0. I just truly, in my heart of hearts, think Arkansas has a better chance to rally and respond and to have Alabama look past you for that A&M game the following week. And I don't know what percentage. I don't know if it's 1%. I don't know if it's 0.5%. I just think there's a better chance of you beating Alabama if you start out 3-1 than you do 4-0. And again, that is an illogical thought on the highest of fronts.
If Bama didn't play Vanderbilt the week before Arkansas, and they had, a different SEC opponent, they had Ole Miss, let's just say, or we wouldn't have Auburn there, but they wouldn't have LSU there, but they had Mississippi State there. Mississippi State might be a better. They have traditionally been a more physical team. Might get with you a little bit on that. They got Vanderbilt. I mean, Vanderbilt is not the most difficult game of the first four. They don't have a conference game until Vanderbilt. That's their conference opener for Alabama. Texas will be a tougher opponent. In fact, I could probably make the case that Utah State or UL Monroe might be tougher than the Vanderbilt game for Alabama. So I think you talk about the focus that Bama's putting on A&M. We assume from a player perspective, this is all about Coach Saban and Jimbo Fisher's spat. I'm not sure that's exactly true either. A&M beat these guys last year, and yeah, the coach's spat's part of it, but I think Will Anderson or Dallas Turner or anyone you want to point out on this team's motivation to beat A&M, for the players, it's probably far more grounded in revenging a year ago than it is about the coaches being at each other's throats. For A&M, it's about getting their coaches back. For Alabama, I think it's a different scenario with the players themselves.
And I think that's a good point that you make, that it's not just about that. But when someone comes at your coach, it's one thing for another. It means more. Players want to defend their coach. Employees, in some cases, want to defend their bosses.
Wish that was true.
Well, listen, when someone comes at you for reffing, I've said I've never watched him ref, so I don't know if he's good or not. When someone comes at you for radio stuff, I'm just like, he's a good boss, and I leave it there. But no, that is important for every single player inside of that Alabama locker room. And I just like, and kind of where I want to start this is when you look at Arkansas's football schedule. There's a lot of games they want to beat. There hadn't been a coach that's come at Sam Pittman because all these SEC coaches like to win, like Sam Pittman, it seems like. Brian Kelly, Kirby Smart, Nick Saban tried to hire him. Smart had him. Kelly called him the best offensive line coach in college football. He does not tick a lot of people off, which is good because there's not negative recruiting or a lot of it against Pittman. It may be against Arkansas, maybe against the state, but it's not against Sam Pittman himself. Let's look at this schedule. September, October, November. What is the month you want to win the most? Do you want to start strong? Do you want to have that juicy patty in the middle that's succulent? Or do you want to end on a high note? If you had a chance to win 4 games at any point, you want to start at 4-0? You want to have a decent September and then have a really good middle? Or do you want to finish 4 straight wins? And some people say, well, Alabama's in October. Of course I want to do that one. Which one would you want to go 4-0 in? Which is the most important? Which is the month that you say, we got to win these games?
They remember what you do in November. I mean, now, it's like a golf tournament. You can't win it on the first day, but you can lose it on the first day. So you can't win the division by going 4-0 a lot of times if you haven't had a good enough start. But if you're 4-4 after your first 8, and then you end up 8-4 because you won your last 4, I think there's a different sentiment about your team than, if you go 6-2 to begin and then close out with kind of you limp through that month of November. So changes your bowl placement. I think it just changes where you maybe slip in the back end of the poll because you're a hot team at that point, and you get in there with a 4-loss record. But I would much rather win those games at the end of the year because it's showing the trend lines going in the right direction. But man, you can get off track in September and never get back on it. So, there's a fine line there. But, for this Alabama game and the one you brought up to start the conversation, I don't think there's a lot of – you could probably point to a game or two over the last 16 years or whatever it is with Nick Saban since 2007 that there's been a slip up here and there. But by and large, regardless of whether you're, off to a hot start or how many people have they overlooked at Bama? Now, they have the luxury of just out-talenting, having better X's and O's than most people. But, how often do they just let somebody slip up on them? It's happened a time or two, and I think about the South Carolina game following the 2010 Arkansas game, but there's very few of those instances. Very few.
Let's hope there's one this year.
Yeah.
I mean, Arkansas needs some. I watched the 03 game and the 04 Alabama wins. You won 03. That was the OT game, I think, and 04 was back in Fayetteville. You won that. You were number 9 in the country in 03. I watched those games with War Machine this morning. You've beaten Alabama. You hadn't beaten Saban Alabama. You beat them this year. And I know we keep coming back to that. You got to beat Cincinnati game 1, but that's the game everyone wants to win this year. All right, when we come back, we're going to touch a little more on this basketball team as they match up against Barcelona at 1:30 today, Central Time. Plus, here's a good question to ponder during the break. If you could go back, how would you recreate your senior picture?
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
I
love the show, guys. Listen to you every morning.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling the cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Arkansas Scholarship Lottery players win more than $1 million every day on scratch-off tickets. Will you be next?
Play the new Monopoly scratch-off games with top prizes from $5,000 to $100,000. You could change your life in an instant.
It's time to play, scratch, and win. Pick up a ticket today. Monopoly is a trademark of Hasbro. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Some of my fondest childhood memories are from volunteering with my grandmother. Helping others was her passion. She'd always say, the sweetest fruits of life come from serving others. And she was right.
At Shelter Insurance, we strive to make a positive impact in the communities where we work and live.
Ask Shelter Insurance agents Ted McAvoy in Greenwood or Jeff Clark in Fort Smith about a free insurance review.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Every time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Jefferson, quarterback sneak. They push the pile. Did he get in? No signal yet.
That's a touchdown.
It sure looks like it now. They give the signal. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Did you miss a segment or interview during the show? Find it in the Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, let's take you back for some of you 20, 30, 40-plus years, your senior picture days. I don't even know if that was a thing back in your day. Did you do that?
You act like I was graduated in the 30s.
Well, there's some stuff I bring up that you're like, oh, we didn't do that. That's some.
Well, I mean, do your grandparents have yearbooks of their high school days?
Senior pictures like that you take out in the
field.
Oh,
you're not talking about your
like
yearbook
that.
picture.
Not yearbook
Oh,
stuff.
we didn't do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, when you say senior picture, I'm thinking the picture that went in your yearbook.
Like the composite. Well, you could talk about that. We'll do that in just a sec. But it is our Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com. So there's a difference. There's a composite you take in the yearbook, and then there's the stuff that you do.
Listen, you be all technical
nowadays. And I saw one, and I'm forgetting the kid and what high school he went to, but it was an offensive lineman, and he's out on the football field. He's got a big stack of pancakes, and the syrup squirting out, and that's his senior picture. I thought it was fantastic. The creativity on some of these lists I've seen. Now, mine personally should have been me with an Xbox controller in front of the television, because that's a lot of what I did. When I tore my ACL, I did not do anything extracurricular my senior year. It sucked. It was not a great senior year. What would be if you could recreate a senior picture with the dog, with the Cave City watermelon, dress up as Tarzan? What would you do on this?
Two things I was highly interested in my senior year of high school would be what I'm doing now, radio, working at the radio station. I thought that's all I ever wanted to do the rest of my life, and I've been fortunate to be able to follow that. And then playing golf. I wasn't into fishing then. I mean, that was basically my life. Go to school, get to the radio station, play golf when you can. That's pretty much what I did. So it would have to be something around this job. Knowing me back then, I wouldn't care anything about it. I would want pictures like sitting in this very room I'm in now or something like that.
Okay. I think we've gotten some...
As stupid as that probably was back then.
No, I don't think so. One of my biggest regrets is not interning in radio in high school, because I think I might have learned a few more things if I had started earlier. For all the youngins that we have out there listening in high school and college, whatever you want to do, start on it as early as possible, because it will help you down the road.
Yep.
Better job, better pay, quicker to the top. It just expedites the process. That would be both some encouragement that Tommy and I would have for you this morning. But I'll say this: I love seeing senior pictures, because it kind of like brings you back a little bit. Maybe you had a great senior year. Maybe you had a crummy senior year. I had a great college senior year. Senior year in high school wasn't great because I tore my ACL. So it's just cool to see, like you're talking about your kids going back to school.
Yeah.
In a week and a half, basically. Not next Monday, but the Monday
after.
after.
Mine going the 22nd.
Yeah.
A lot of them on the 15th next Monday.
That's when college starts back up at the U of A, right? It's the 22nd.
Yep.
So a lot of schedules. Northwest Arkansas, for a lot of you, your schedule's going to change as of next Monday because that's when your kids are going back to school. And the moms out there that are scared of an empty nest and whatever, I remember when my youngest stepsister left for college, it became an empty nest. It always seems like, you tell me if I'm wrong about this, the father's ecstatic, get the knuckleheads out of the house, let me have some free time, and the mom is always crying her eyes out because her baby is gone off to school or off to work or whatever he or she's doing.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's far more emotional for dad when particularly the last one leaves the nest. When the youngest child, you have to move them into their dorm room. I think it's always emotional when you turn your kids off. I mean, it was rough on me when Dylan went to kindergarten for the first time, and I remember I took an hour off the show I wanted to be there for that day, his first day of school. I remember walking out of Bonneville Elementary after me and my wife walked him in, and we left him in the lunchroom, sitting at a table, not knowing any other kids in that room. And I remember having tears in my eyes walking down the sidewalk back to our car. My kids growing up. I mean, just it was emotional for me. So I've seen my uncle go through it with his two daughters when he moved them off to college for the first time. Yeah, I think I don't think dads are void of the emotion on that. So
they're not void, but I have seen more often than not. And maybe you're the norm, maybe you're the anomaly. But I have, from the encounters that I've had, from the dads that I've had conversations with, they are excited to see the last one leave the nest. They are excited to see
your grocery bill goes down, that's for sure.
Yes, that is for the food consumption in your house, especially if you have dudes or young men, it goes down. I remember my dad was joking with me. It's like, once you graduate, you're not coming back to live here. And I made fun of my buddies for coming back after they graduated school for living with their parents. And some, it was 2 or 3 years. And I was like, dude, you got to get out of the house. You got to find your own way. It was one of those things. Girls, it's not a big a deal. Guys, though, it's like, dude, you got to figure this out.
Think of all the money they saved, though.
They did, but I think it's good to once you got to break ties at some point. You always joke about, well, are you still helping Taylor out with stuff? I know you like to joke about that. Are you actually? Is she still on the hook?
She's got a good job now. She's taking care of herself.
You like to joke about that sometimes. I don't know if you're serious.
I don't think as a parent you ever. I don't think there's ever a point you completely, they're always in the nest to a degree, right? So
it's lunches and dinners and stuff like that.
Well, as a dad, you should always be the safety net, right? That's why the old adage, you never fully grow up and you don't truly become a full man. You don't become the man you will be at some point when your dad's still here. When your dad's gone, that safety net's removed. And my dad's been gone almost 7 years. I know what that feels like. I mean, when mom and dad are still there to turn to, and particularly I think for boys, when dad's still there to ask and lean on for certain things, you don't fully grow into a man. I don't care what age you are until dad's gone. And some may agree with that. I think a lot will agree with that. A few may disagree with that based on their relationship with their dad. But I can tell you this: it was not a welcome reality by any chance, but it was a reality. After my dad died, that hey, it's I don't have that phone call to make anymore. That advice to get.
I don't know anything about anything, so I can just call Baylor Brad and he'll fill me in on stuff. So
unfortunately, there will be a day where you can't make that call. Hopefully, it's a long ways from now.
Let's go down there.
That's not a good place to be.
As long as he keeps, as long as I get on to him, it's like, you need to exercise more. I keep telling him to do that.
Maybe he won't take your calls anymore. You're going to be ugly like that.
No, don't turn that into that. It's like
you need to exercise more. You call your dad and say you need to exercise more.
I don't call him, but like when we're in person, I'm just like, are you walking and running? Or not running, but are you walking? That's just. If you're healthy, you're going to live longer. Like, that's just one of those things. Everyone knows that. That's just how it goes. If you're healthier, there's a better chance you're going to live longer.
Maybe.
Exercise helps you be healthy.
Maybe.
It helps with heart health. We keep saying maybe for it.
Well, I remember there was a guy that when I grew up that ran on the golf course every day. He was known for that. Guy, he'd go out there and he'd run 4 or 5 miles a day, drop dead of a heart attack, 30-inch waist, bam, done. So, you know.
Sobered us up real quick this morning.
Just telling you. It's a lot more about what we eat than what we do.
Lots of pizza. That'll keep you healthy. Lots of pizza.
Try that.
I trust me, I have. All right, let's welcome in Tom Murphy to the show this morning. Tom, Pads start today. I know that Arkansas fans are excited not only for this basketball game at 1:30, but the slobber knocking that's going to happen a little more. It won't be what we'll see in 23 days, but what are you excited about Pads getting going today? What are you excited to hear?
Just a little bit more, by the way, good morning, everybody. It's good to be with you. Just a little bit more physicality on the edges, probably. But honestly, this team is really good, even with the spider pads on, just the modified pads, at having nice physical work on the inside. You know, that initial thrust of the O lineman and D lineman, it's been there with the pads. It's just that now they have some more limited full tackling stuff. And I think Sam Pittman and this staff are very well aware of, tackle good, try to stay up when you can, and there's only limited periods they can do it. So, you've got to be able to, when the opener gets here, you've got to be able to know what it feels like to be tackled and to tackle people other than the quarterbacks. And we're going to start seeing some of that maybe.
Tommy, do you think Tom's on Saturday going to be with his binoculars and looking at that scrimmage from
Find
afar?
Him a perch somewhere.
I don't know if Tom's purchased some binoculars or what. No open scrimmage on Saturday, Tom. Are you going to be perched up somewhere trying to watch that from afar?
Well, I think they would frown on that.
Yeah, probably would.
Nah, I don't know. It's frustrating that we have to kind of rely on them. Like, who made big plays? Oh, how long was it? And they don't like to be, super specific about everything, but we have to ask it. And so I wish we could see it, but we can't. And that's been going on, for quite a while. And, we get what we can. So when you read on Saturday night and Sunday morning about what happened in the scrimmage, just know that our eyes weren't on it.
And I just wonder how much some of the players we can put in Sharpie pen that we know are starting on this football team, not just KJ Jefferson, but, you look at Ricky Stromberg up front. You look at, Dalton Wagner. You look at, some of these guys that have spots locked in, your running backs with Rocket Sanders. How much do you scrimmage? I find the management plan just as interesting, Tom, on how many licks you're going to let these guys take, how much scrimmage time these guys need, and also just how they go about evaluating the twos and the threes behind them. I think that would be as interesting to watch in a scrimmage as anything.
Oh, absolutely it would. I would not. I would limit Rocket Sanders to, I don't think I'd want him to be tackled to the ground, 8 or 10 times in this entire camp. Because you know what he can do. His pass blocking the other day was just so on point. So, yeah, maybe you let A.J. Green get hit a few more times than that, and certainly Dominion and Joyner you do. And those two guys need work on live pass protection, and not just the drill with the linebackers, which was very enlightening the other day, but the full team deal. Dudes who are running stunts and which guy's coming, all that kind of stuff. Those running backs need to work with that. But you're right. I think maybe in the secondary, some DBs, you don't let Jalen Catalon go live tackle but a few times in this camp with his shoulder. Same probably with a few of the top cornerbacks. Same with Bumper Poole.
Yep. And
possibly Drew Sanders. So you're guys like Pooh Paul and Jordan Crooks and Jackson Woodard, they're getting some tackling reps in. And then you just have to be super smart with what you do with your O-line and D-line. And you got to be very careful with your D linemen now, because with Torian Carter being out for a while and we're not sure when Cam Ball's going to return, and Taylor Lewis, they've got to try to keep those D tackles in good shape.
Yeah, we were talking about Catalon earlier, and Ty made a point. I think he's probably not way off that Catalon is going to be a front runner for SEC Comeback Player of the Year after missing half a season with injury. And I surmised or was wondering, I'll ask you the same question, does he have to change his style a little bit? Does the way he goes about hitting due to the targeting rules and also just preserving that shoulder and trying not to have further injury. Do you think we see any change at all in the way Jalen Catalon played with more reckless abandon? Is that dialed back any this year, Tom?
I actually think about this from time to time, and last year in camp, right before he got hurt, I had asked him that question, and his answer was more or less, no, I am who I am. I have to play this way. But, the clip came out of the tackle he had on Josh Oglesby that hit Hunter Yurichek's cheek, that was right on the sideline. Mm-hmm. And I think, A, you take care of your teammates if you're not delivering that hard of a blow right on the sideline. B, you're helping take care of yourself. And then triple, your AD. You're taking care of your AD when you do that. Yeah. So my answer would be, yeah, Jalen, let's hit when it's on the field. I mean, but let's save the super huge collisions for game days. And Clay Henry, who's on your air a lot, he's had this theory about DBs. It's the shoulders, and so you got to be careful the leverage you use, the amount of force, and all that kind of stuff. And it would serve him well in the long run for his pro career and ejections from games, because the rules on it, are so, up to interpretation. But he can bring it. And yes, I would say he's a prime candidate for comeback player of the year, but it's based on being healthy all year, because even the first half of last season, you could tell he just wasn't the same, and his shoulder was already hurting him. He couldn't tackle like we're used to seeing him tackle. And so him at full strength, we saw a 99 tackle season in a 10-game season in 20. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could duplicate that.
He's no good to anybody if he's held out for targeting, no good to anybody, and no good for his future if injured. So I want to ask you about Isaiah Sategna. Here's a player that everybody's talking about replacing Treylon Burks, which you're not going to do with one player, and a lot of focus has been on Jordan Hazelwood. What do you think we see at the beginning of the year with the freshman wide receiver from Fayetteville with Sategna, and what kind of player do you think he might become by November, Tom?
Guy who can get separation because of his speed, and as Kenny Guyton pointed out, you just see a guy who can run by people. And so we've seen him try to run an end around in the fastball starts with him. I kind of think he's going to be one of your main guys that gets that type of play. Defenses will be on the lookout, I would say, for him and Hornsby doing that kind of thing. But if you're the coaching staff, you're plotting up what's our ideal number of reps that we split around, who's touching the ball on this given play. You're going to have your Rocket Sanders 20. You're going to have, KJ, delivering or keeping the ball X number of plays. You plot out your receivers. We want these guys to get 5, 6, 8, catches or targets per game. And then Sategna, give him the ball a few times a game. And it's the same with Hornsby. How are we going to get him the ball, and how many times do we want him to touch the ball? And so he calculates in, at least early on, a couple times, and then if he starts showing it, and of course in special teams even more, because I think he could wind up being one of the returners, and then Trey Knox and some other guys factor in, but Sategna's got to be in that mix because he could be a game breaker. And the more times you get the ball in the hands of guys who have the best speed on the team, the better your chances of winning games.
We're talking with Tom Murphy this morning, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports. Tom, I know that you've been really focused on football. Have you gotten a chance to watch any highlights, any glimpses into this basketball team? They'll take on Barcelona at 1:30 today.
Yeah, I didn't see the whole game. Bob was covering that, and he got the Flow Sports thing, but I did see clips, and that other team isn't near as athletic as what we're going to see in the SEC, but we know that they can handle the ball in the open court and go hard to the rim. The more guys on your team you can do that, and we saw Brazil and Council, multiple guys, and Kamani crashing the boards the way he does. Nick Smith doing all the varied things that he does. I mean, I bumped into somebody in shopping yesterday, and they were so excited, A, about the entire athletic scene at Arkansas, but B, all the different ways Eric Musselman can play personnel on this team. And whereas you might think some of these freshmen, when you're talking about Ford and Pinion and Dunning, maybe they're guys who, might end up redshirting or not get as much playing time. Well, maybe Eric Musselman has to go to a 2-platoon system, maybe like Nolan did, 5 in and 5 out a little bit, and really make that playing time something they're working for. They're just going to be so fun to watch.
I know a lot of people are excited to see what happens in Bud Walton Arena this year, as they are from 23 days out.
They sold out Bud Walton Arena,
yes.
too.
Also, I mean, in excitement, back to football real quick, Tom. I was listening to Luke Fickell yesterday. He was on Sports Center, or I guess 2 days ago, and just talking about his team in Arkansas and stuff. They've got some type of Hogs Plus thing with their upcoming season. When do you think the coaching staff really starts diving into Cincinnati? Is that a 2 weeks out, 1 week out? What does that look like for this football team?
Well, they've already got all the cut-ups from Cincinnati from last year. They probably spent some time in spring looking at, a couple of days of just here's what Cincinnati does, and it won't be long before they start. They're probably already implementing some of the packages they're going to use in the opener because you do your stuff, but then there's going to be specific stuff they want to run against Cincinnati, and I wouldn't doubt that they're already dropping some of that in. But the full game plan, like your entire scout team is devoted to running Cincinnati stuff. Will probably be a couple of weeks away or a week and a half. I'm not sure exactly when, but there's no doubt that their plan for how to attack Cincinnati is largely in place already.
Tom, we'll leave it there this morning. We appreciate your time. We'll kind of recap what you hear from the scrimmage and talk more fall camp on Tuesday, okay?
Yeah, outstanding. Talk to y'all then.
All right, Tom Murphy with us from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. I think it's a fun day, and Sam Pittman will speak tonight. We'll have that for you at hitthatline.com later on this evening. So if you want to watch coaches, it's usually about 20 minutes or so. You can set that up, and you can check that out. One other reminder, today beginning at 11, another chance to qualify for the 17th annual football trip of a lifetime. Ty, we're giving away a great trip to Kansas City again. This time you get to see the Titans take on the Chiefs. So your favorite former Razorback, Traylon Burks, against maybe what could be your favorite quarterback of the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. So good matchup, fun town, great barbecue, good times. You can win it. You can qualify today.
1820 Phoenix Avenue. Come by and see me if you can eat a Hardee's Original Angus Burger in 90 seconds or less. I'm really excited about to see who's going to come join me later on today. All right, we got our hog update coming up to get to. Tommy, we haven't brought this up yet, and I wanted to. I know Halftime has talked about it. You see Rutgers is selling their football tickets at Costco, and South Carolina's doing something similar.
I saw this about a week ago. You do that when you have to. I mean, let's be honest. If Arkansas had 30,000 unsold seats, they might be in Sam's Club here.
That's what I was thinking.
But, I've got an email from the foundation yesterday that if you're a season ticket holder in certain levels or whatever, you got some complimentary tickets to a handful of games. I went in for the Cincinnati game thinking, okay, that's scoop up a couple extra tickets. At least from the screen I was given, nothing there. So I don't know if that's a sellout or if that's just what I was allowed to see. Ended up getting 2 extra for the Missouri State game. But, the seating chart that was presented to me at least was very limited. So I think maybe sometime in the next week or two we'll talk about maybe a crowd that maybe they'll be pushing for a sellout or maybe all the tickets will be gone, the outdoor seats at least, for that Cincinnati game. I think it's closer than we might think.
Glad you brought that up because I just looked at my email and I got that. It keeps sending my promotions and not my inbox. It ticks me off why it does that. I guess that's just a Gmail thing or whatever.
Yeah. Getting spammed out or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to put that, what do they call that? The safe list or whatever it's called. Hey, we've been talking about Gaston's, and if fly fishing is something that you want to take up and learn, or maybe it's something you already enjoy but you want to take your skills to the next level, let me talk to you for a second about the guides at Gaston's White River Resort. They got 3 new guides that they've recently put on the roster that do nothing exclusively. They teach fly fishing. They teach you in the classroom a little bit, but more importantly on the water. So if fly fishing is something you do and enjoy, you want to learn more, or it's something you'd like to begin, call Gaston's and book a fly fishing trip with one of their expert guides. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time, every time.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from tuning.
This is Governor Asa Hutchinson, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
How much life can you fit in a 2022 Toyota RAV4?
Hun, can you grab me a swan float? They're in the RAV4.
The pink one or the yellow one?
How about 69.8 cubic feet for inflatable fun?
Want me to put the address in the RAV4's GPS?
No. I know exactly where yeah.
Thought so.
Up to 40 miles of uncharted terrain per gallon.
Get in the RAV4. Get in the RAV4. I did not expect mountain lions out here.
That's a cat.
But it's big though, right?
Yeah. Big kitty.
That's 37.7 inches of headroom for tall tales.
Hey, pull into that taco stand here. I'm starving. I'm grabbing 2 number 4s.
And grab 2 for me.
And 2 to 4 number 4s for the largest appetites. The numbers add up. It's amazing how much life you can fit in a 2022 Toyota RAV4. Visit your local dealer or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability. EPA estimated 41 city, 38 highway, 40 combined MPG for 2022 RAV4 XSE hybrid.
Are you looking for a career that is in demand and will provide you and your family the living you all deserve? Are you willing to put in the time to learn that profession? If the answer is yes, you need to contact United Welding Institute today. Welders are in demand in-state and across the country for many different types of welding. United Welding Institute has recently placed students from the River Valley with very high-paying employers, and they want to do the same for you. Call today and make an appointment for your future. 479-968-3390. That's 479-968-3390 for United Welding Institute in Pottsville, and tell them you heard it on ESPN Arkansas.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road-ready premium pre-owned vehicles, each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, let's get into your Hog Update. Arkansas, Barcelona, 1:30 later on today. Flow Sports. Again, backdoor way, $12.50. Whole lot cheaper than paying the $30 if you want to do that later on. Or you can bootleg it, which you can find on Twitch. Some Arkansas fan will be doing that later on today.
To me, I mean, $15 or whatever, that's not a deal breaker. It's just at that time of the day, I wonder how many of us have time to just take 2 hours to watch a game. You're an hour and 45, whatever that one will take. That's because they play quarters. It's international rules. It's not halves, but a lot of people probably don't have time unless you work early and get off. I don't have 2 hours to dedicate in the middle of the day to that. So I wonder how many in our audience would at that time of the day.
I'm going to make time.
It'd be a different equation. Well, you got time. It'd be a different equation. I think if these games happen to be in a time zone, if you were playing in South America somewhere or something where the time zones lined up more.
Yep.
You have a much bigger audience.
Different setup. I saw that U of A is doing that Red Glow Friday, so you got students checking in. By the way, if you're a student in any capacity at college, try and get at the earliest check-in date as possible so you can have fun for a week and a half. They are doing that this Friday. They're lining up the entire stadium that you can see to what's the farthest city that you can see?
I mean, you can't see it. I mean, well, south, it's Greenland because you got to come over the hill. And when you top the hill on a Friday night, because they do this during the season, and when there's fog that is set in kind of around the area, that little valley there around campus, it is a neat looking thing when that fog illuminates as well. So you'll see it on Friday nights if you're in Northwest Arkansas for a high school game. You'll get a glimpse of that. It's worth stopping to look at.
It's very cool. If you've not seen it in person, it's awesome, and I'm excited about that. So yeah, fall camp continues on today. You got pads starting as we were talking with Tom Murphy about. You got the schedule. What's it look like? Who's talking?
Sam's talking today. Coach Pittman talks today after their first full pads practice, and it just says Pittman and players on the schedule. Michael Scherer will bring the linebackers in on Friday, and then Coach Pittman after the scrimmage on Saturday. So we'll hear from Coach Pittman 2 of the next 3 days. Teams off on Sunday, and this begins the cycle where Sundays is the day off, and then it's 6 days, Monday through Saturday, leading up to the Cincinnati game. So that's the schedule the rest of the way. When game week begins on the 29th, same thing.
That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
So it's annual medical checkup day. What are you worried about the most when you go to the doctor?
Man, I gotta get
weight, cholesterol, height.
Yeah. I gotta get blood drawn today.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, mine's on Monday. My annual butt chewing's on Monday.
Your annual.
All the things they're going to threaten to prescribe and saddle me with if I don't get right.
Your annual.
I had a friend of mine that said he went to the doctor, and the doctor called him back and basically almost fired him. So I'm going to just move you off my patient roster if you're not going to be more in compliance.
Diligent. Is that legal for them to do that?
I guess that's what he threatened him with. You just need to find you a new doctor if you're not going to do what I say.
Clay's joining us in about 10 minutes. What do you think his doctor gets on to him about?
Well,
is it everything? Does it check everything like you?
Clay's in pretty good shape.
I know.
So
for an old codger, he moved. Does he work out? Does he lift weights? Is he running?
You can't tell that Clay lifts weights just by looking at him?
My mistake. I guess I haven't looked at him shirtless ever. I've been
trying to avoid that for a while myself.
I think most would, outside of
I think he does some fly rod curls. That's
fly
what.
Rod. Yeah. I would guess he's got some pretty decent biceps and triceps based on that motion over and over again. You do that every once in a while.
You think?
I would think so. I was at the reason I bring this up not only because it's the holiday. I was at the doctor a week or so ago, and I'm just waiting because Dad had diabetes, Grandpa had diabetes. I'm just waiting for him to say, Ty, I've got bad news.
Yeah, you're on your way.
Yeah, I'm well on my way. And there's I know you can drink water. I don't eat healthy, just going to be honest. I eat healthy during the week, terrible on weekends. It's like you eat water, you're supposed to exercise. I do that. I drink a ton of water, and I exercise. But
those White Claws are loaded with sugar.
Yeah,
they're bad for you.
They're not great for you. So I'm just waiting on the day that Dr. Calloway's like, Ty, I got some bad news.
So your annual is today?
No, I had it last week.
Last week?
Yeah, last week. Got my eye check. The sty is still here. It drives me nuts. It's not as bad as it was, but it's been like 2.5 weeks and it's still here, which is frustrating.
Are they drawing blood and giving you your blood work and all that?
I think it's every other time they do that.
Every other year?
Every other year they do that.
The older you get, the more they want to do it like we don't do it every 6 months, but we're headed that direction. So, yeah, high cholesterol runs in my mom's side of the family. It doesn't matter. I mean, you could eat bacon every day or you can eat salad every day. It doesn't matter. It matters, but what I'm saying is it's genetic.
Let's go back to something you were talking about just a sec here. The single game tickets, I just got on there and I got 2 Liberty tickets for that game, so we'll be doing those giveaway. I'll be giving those away when we get closer to that. What is that stadium going to look like this fall? What's it going to look like for Cincinnati? I mean, is it going to be good?
If you
is
win,
it going to be great?
If you win, it's going to be full. I mean, I think there'll be a good crowd there for. Now, when I went on there, I was mentioned a moment ago, and if you're a season ticket holder, you got a similar email that I got and Ty got. We're both season ticket holders.
You'll get that bill at the end of the year, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm expensing that.
You can present it all you want. But when I went into they were offering 2 complimentary tickets to the games that they offered me. The ones that were my selection were Cincinnati, South Carolina, Missouri State, and Liberty, I think it was. Cincinnati, there were no tickets left. I mean, now maybe that doesn't show the whole stadium. I just wonder, is that first game close to a sellout? The ones for South Carolina were singles, and these were all upper deck corner stuff, which you'd expect that to be the ones you'd give away, the least desirable tickets. I just wonder how close is those first 2 games to being sold out. I don't think that the offer of free tickets is necessarily an indication of how the stadium is close to selling out, but this is probably one way to fill it up, even though you may not begin getting the money. I imagine there's East Indoor Club and some other things that are still available if you want to call and get a single game ticket, but I think we're going to see a good crowd for Cincinnati just based on looking at that.
On that note, what is the right thing to do with unsold tickets if you're the University of Arkansas? Do you just give them away? I mean, you're not going to have it for basketball, not going to have it for baseball. But we always talking about wanting to see that stadium sold out. If you've got 1,000, 2,000 tickets day before the game, and they're in Arkansas's possession, they're not on third party, they're on that. What do you do with those? You just give them away to fans? You say, hey, sign up on Twitter, request a maximum of 4 tickets, and they're yours. What is the proper way? Is that unfair to the fans that bought them? Like, I don't know what the right protocol is.
But I think what I would do, if you could have a relationship with boys clubs around the state, girls clubs, boys and girls clubs around the state, youth, FCA and groups like that, those are the people that if they can bring 10 or 12 kids to a game, that's who I would like to see in those seats. Bring a group of 8th graders or 9th graders to a ball game.
From the desk of your athletics director, the University of Arkansas announces a new partnership with the Boys and Girls Club this fall. We will be giving away unsold season tickets to the great young men and young women in this state. This was our idea. We did not poach it from any morning show at any point in time. Copyright the University of Arkansas.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
It's the most wonderful time.
Whoa,
of
Dad,
the
Christmas is
year.
months away. Why are you singing that?
Oh, no, Matt, it's football season. That is the most wonderful time of the year.
You know, your dad's side is approaching legendary status. Anyway, Hog fans, this is Matt.
And this is Robert, a.k.a. Legendary Dad Guy.
Dad, please stop. Folks, he is right, though. It is time for football.
And, Matt, with all the hype surrounding this year's football team, everyone should be loading up on their hog gear now before it's too late.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback has all things Razorback.
Yep, whether your needs are for tailgating, game day, man cave decorations, and dorm room stuff. Hey, Matt, you do have your dorm room
Dad,
ready
I
to go,
graduated 3 years ago.
right? Oh, yeah. Keep forgetting.
Folks, come and see us at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
We're located at 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. And Matt, I'm going to leave that WWS.
He means our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Or you can call us at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486. It does not get more Razorback than us. Go Hogs.
Save big on fiberglass in-ground pools at the Burton Pools & Spa's Inventory Reduction Sale. Get the pool your family has been begging for and save up to $7,000. Plus, get a free salt generator or 2 ledge loungers. 6 models to choose from while supplies last. At Burton Pools & Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Call, come by, or visit burtonpools.com. Burton Pools & Spas, where you can get your feet wet without getting in over your head.
Arkansas Valley Electric members living in Knoxville and Augsburg and surrounding areas, you can now sign up. Wave Rural Connect Internet is available for you. Fast fiber internet, TV, and even phone service. Internet starting at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone for $29.95. Sign up now at signup.com.
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait, Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe can get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
They've not exactly threes against the zone here. Out and running, my goodness gracious! Dragon Brazil!
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush. Pads start today. And I know that's something that Tommy's excited about. Clay Henry, who we'll welcome in just a sec, is excited about. And you're excited about. We got Arkansas basketball to talk about as well. 1:30 is the start time when they take on Barcelona, which a lot of people anticipate will be a much better game than what the
higher competition
massacre was on Tuesday.
Better competition today. We'll talk about all of that with Clay in just a second. Let me first tell you about Burton Pools and Spas. A few more days remain in the inventory reduction sale that's going on right now. Get the pool your family's always dreamed about. Maybe you've saved up and now is the time that you can finally make the commitment to it. Well, why not save some extra money right now? Up to $7,000 off on fiberglass in-ground pools from Burton Pools and Spas. Plus, the Burton family's throwing in one extra bonus for you, a free salt generator or 2-ledge loungers. You can make the choice what's right for you and your family. They've got 6 different models of fiberglass in-ground pools to choose from, and you won't find a better deal than $7,000 off on select models right now. Stop in Springdale or in Fort Smith. You can see a ton of selection there, different shapes, sizes, and features for you and your family that you can choose from at Burton Pools and Spas. Again, Springdale and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com.
You're the phrase difference maker. It's a simple phrase, but most of you, if not all of you, know what it means. It's a guy or a gal that makes a difference on the field. Jalen Catalon is a difference maker. He changes the outlook of a game when he steps on the field. His football IQ is off the charts. He forces turnovers. He has jarring hits. And Arkansas fans and the coaching staff were thrilled to have him back. Clay, you got a chance to talk with him a couple weeks ago, and he's not the biggest guy, 5'10", less than 200 pounds, but man, he's got some heart in him, and like I said earlier, his football IQ is off the charts. And I said this earlier in hour 1, I think he's going to be the SEC Comeback Player of the Year.
Who the other candidates would be, but he would be Arkansas's for sure. I mean, have you studied around the SEC who that might be, or are you just kind of saying, well, I know he's Arkansas's?
There's a couple of players that I've looked at, and it's kind of like the Burlsworth Trophy with Grant Morgan 2 years ago, and then a year ago. There's going to be some competition. They're not just going to give it to him by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely think he has an opportunity and chance to win that award this year.
Yeah, I didn't even know they gave one I mean, I didn't know there was such an award. It'd be the thing that you have with him is that he's played quarterback. He was a great high school quarterback. Probably more of a runner than a thrower. He understands what the quarterback's going to do or trying to do with the safeties and the mind games that come with those two positions are fun for him. He and the part that you didn't mention that the coaches are excited about is he gets his team lined up right. He's a mistake fixer, a guy that erases errors. When he sees an alignment bust, he can catch it or he can replace. He can fix it himself. But he's got great ball skills, and that was when I realized that something really seriously was wrong, and he wasn't himself. Is when he went up for the pass against Matt Corral at Ole Miss last year, and he could get a hand on it, and then he put the other hand to it, and when he went to the ground, the ball came loose. He just couldn't grip the ball because of that broken hand. And but yeah, he's the guy that he reminds me of more than any. And I had somebody say this when he was in high school. I think it was Mark Smith who was recruiting him for Chad Morris and did a great job in recruiting Jalen. It was the Honey Badger. And, Tyrone Matthew, and just able to impact the game in so many ways, whether it's a hit or he gets his hand on a ball or when it comes loose, he's the first one there. He anticipates and he's coming. And if you go back to a game where it was just incredible to watch him, you remember that first quarter against Tennessee. Now, Arkansas just ripped them in the third quarter, and just blew them away. But Tennessee was dominating in the run, and they had some things going in their blocking scheme that they had Arkansas's front accounted for. In other words, they were blocking them up. And Jalen made every tackle in that first quarter. He made 11 tackles. I've never seen a safety make 11 tackles. And if he doesn't make the tackles, Tennessee probably scores 3 or 4 touchdowns because they had them blocked up front. Now, they fixed that in the second quarter, and they gradually, gained steam defensively and shut them down. But that quarter that he played was monumental because the game could have been out of hand by halftime because of the way they blocked Arkansas's front.
Finished, I think, 99 tackles, Tommy, his freshman year. And this is not an official award. It's more of a, hey, this guy deserves it. It's not something you're going to get from the SEC office by anything, but it's more of just a talking point in a conversation. The guys, Clay, the guys that you asked, hey, who might be up for this? Even though he didn't play in the SEC last year, I think Spencer Rattler wants to prove something in the Southeastern Conference this year. The other one that stands out to me, it's kind of a weird, intricate situation or odd situation, is Eli Ricks, who's a 5-star cornerback, played at LSU, Tommy, and is now over at Alabama. So those are kind of different scenario setups, and they're on the same team that they were the previous year. And their comeback is kind of different because Ricks was on the Tigers, now he's on Bama. Rattler was on the Sooners, and now he's on Gamecocks. But if you're going to put that award in a box, I would say those are two guys that he's going to be, quote-unquote, competing against, even though it's not a legitimate award.
Clay, I don't know how much you caught earlier of our conversation. I was asking Ty the question and just asking aloud, is there got to be some changes in Jalen's game a little bit from the kind of the reckless abandon he's played with, the shoulder injury, the problems he's had in the past, the targeting issues that's taking him off the field? Does he have to take a bit of a different approach to be there for his team the whole way, or is there just only one way to play if you're Jalen Catalon?
Well, I think that you changing much, you're probably doing a disservice. I mean, I want that Jalen Catalon. But it's if you make tackles and you're at the safety position and you come up hard, there's going to be times where the back moves a little or you move a little bit at the end and the helmet's hit. And I think you can try to avoid that, but it's still going to happen. And I think if you are a part of 100 tackles and you just think back, Bumper Pool, Hayden Henry, Grant Morgan, just name any guy that makes 100 tackles. Somewhere in there, there's going to be an odd one. And I don't think it's necessarily that those guys are trying to do that. I think there's just, you are the guy that's coming initiating contact, and the back just moves, and all at once your helmet's hit.
We've all seen it. Yeah, I mean,
And
those are the targeting fouls that just
do that.
Just really frustrate you because there doesn't appear to be intent. It's just the way it.
They didn't change that rule, did they?
No, the change with the targeting was that there's now a national review. The national coordinator can review the film and make a change if they deem appropriate.
Like suspension that next week or that next half. Is that what you're saying?
Or lift it. Yeah, I mean,
or say that it's not a targeting
right.
foul.
So I mean, those things
but won't change the penalty that happened in the game, but it'll keep the player alive to play the next week.
Correct. So. Those are the things you're trying to get, and you got one set of eyes kind of judging all of it. So, all right. So we talk about comeback player of the year. Let's talk for a minute about maybe Arkansas's newcomer of the year. We've been talking some about Isaiah Satania, the wide receiver from Fayetteville. Clay, what kind of player do you think he'll be at the beginning of the year, and what's the potential for Isaiah come November as a wide receiver? There's been a lot of conversation about how do you replace Traylon Burks. Where could this guy fit in this season and down the road for Kenny Guyton's group?
Well, the newcomer of the year on the team will be Jaden Hazelwood. I mean, there's not any doubt about that. He's
Fair enough.
When you talk about difference maker, the transfer from Oklahoma. So, it's now if you want to say freshman of the year,
maybe that's a better way to phrase it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want, because I think it's tough for freshmen to really impact the first part of the season, and they're guys ahead of Isaiah right now, and whether it's Katron Jackson or there's a handful. Bryce Stevens, I mean, he's behind in his learning. They'll have to give him a small package, and then they'll develop. I mean, Malik Hornsby's ahead of him. So what the newcomers of the year, he's one of those guys that you could say. I think Jordan Crook at linebacker is another one, and because he was here in the spring, I think that he has a much bigger chance to impact early, more so than Isaiah. But somewhere along the way, they're going to need Isaiah, and there's going to be a play or two that they have for him, a reverse or this or that, and he can take the lid off. The thing that you worry about Isaiah is that his size and strength against an SEC corner, can he get off the line of scrimmage? So that's something that he could do in high school because he was quicker and more athletic and as strong as any high school corner. But that won't be the case going forward, so that'll be an adjustment that he has to make.
Chuck made a point yesterday that I agreed with. When he's on the field,
you should agree with all his points. I'm just going to coach you, okay?
Every single one of them?
Yeah, you should.
Tommy said yesterday that when Isaiah does step on that field, every GA, every defensive staff member on the other team is going to be alerted quickly about that because you just feel like, not to say he can't be used as a dummy or a decoy, but you feel like the ball is going to get to him in some way, shape, or form. And to get him off the line of scrimmage, you're talking about, Clay, if they're running press or whatever, you have a reverse or you have him in the slot. You have him where he's not on the line of scrimmage directly across from a quarter. You put him in situations where he has ability not just to move, but not immediately lock up with that said defender. And I think Kendall Briles, knowing what we know about him and his offensive acumen, I think he's going to put him in situations, assuming that he picks up the playbook, which Coach Pittman keeps talking about, that he's adjusting to the college game. That's going to be a guy that you have to keep an eye on. That you're not just a Fayetteville Purple Dog fan, that you're a fan of this team, because I think he's going to have an impact. The question is just how much.
Yeah, here's what happens to freshmen. This is something to watch in the next couple of weeks. And you guys have mentioned it. It's, I've listened to the first 30 minutes trying to get my coffee in me and kind of jumpstart and be ready for y'all because y'all are rolling. And I didn't want to slow you down. You put on pads and you start to hit, and the young players, that's when an injury here or there hits because they don't have, the muscle structure to hold up when they're playing against guys for the first time that are either bigger than them or as big. And it's just an unusual situation for young players. And they often, They get bogged down with little minor injuries, and they can't afford that. You can't miss any time when you're going through installations at this point in the season. It sets you back, and you don't recover from that until probably the middle of the season. It's just too much for you. So that's why I said, a small package for a guy like Isaiah. He's not going to be able to learn it all, I don't think. I haven't seen too many do that. But it's he does have the rare ability to take the top off the defense, and you want to utilize him. But so do some of those other wide receivers. And I think, those guys that, that are a year ahead of him, and I think that you're just going to see good play from the wide receiver. I know everybody worries about losing Burks, but I don't see there being a big fall off.
And everybody, that's been the kind of the conversation or the main question of the summer is replacing Burks. How do you replace Burks? Well, you do it with multiple players, I think is what we all know is the answer.
No question.
If you want to point to someone that down the road can be the next great wide receiver, and I think Chuck accurately described Burks as a generational talent when we were talking about this yesterday. And I'm not saying Satania will be that, but I think the next great player with his own set of skills at wide receiver may be Isaiah Satania next year. And it may be you'll start to see flashes of it in November. And that's why I kind of framed the question the way I did. What do you expect early? Because what I expect to see in maybe the last 2 or 3 games of the season, maybe by that Missouri game, is, hey, this is going to be the main dude right here next year. And we saw, and it was the Chad Morris era still, but Burks didn't have a tremendous freshman year, and there's probably multiple reasons for that, but some of it's just acclimation to the college level. Clay, I think by end of the year we may start seeing flashes, perhaps, that Satania can be the next really standout wide receiver at Arkansas.
Yeah, I think there's going to be multiple, though. I don't think he's going to be a guy. He's going to be one of the guys, and I think they're going to have a lot of them. I just see the recruiting that they've done at wide receiver. I mean, he's not the only highly regarded player. We just know him better because he was at Fayetteville.
We root for our own. We want one of our own in Arkansas to do well.
No, but what I'm getting at is Katron Jackson is also terrific. I mean, just outstanding, and he is going great guns and making plays. So the good news for Isaiah is he doesn't have to come in and be it. I know there was a lot of disappointment Treylon Burks' first year that he didn't just, wasn't just a wow guy. But you have to remember he was coming off an ACL injury, as was Jalen Catalon. That was the reason why Jalen struggled his first year at Arkansas. He was, a red shirt guy.
And Chad Morris was his coach, too.
Yeah. I mean, but Tommy, just be real. Yeah. And, I mean, when you're coming off an ACL and then you hurt your shoulder, I'm talking about Jalen, and they made a really good decision by sitting him the last, 6 weeks of the season and protecting, a year of eligibility. And that was a good decision, whether it's for Chad Morris or for Sam Pittman. And it was the right thing for Jalen. But Treylon wasn't, he wasn't fit. And his first year, coming off the ACL, and everybody was delighted to see him out there. But he was much better the next year as far as his ability to get off the line of scrimmage and jump and run and make plays. So, that's why I'm saying when you look at freshmen, see if they make it through camp healthy. And if they've been able to absorb everything. And that's the key area of development that has to happen. It is not so important for a junior or a senior. It is imperative for freshmen to go through camp healthy so that they've absorbed all that's been in the installations.
Mm-hmm. With practice here, it reminds you school's starting soon. Ty, you're talking about moving into the dorms. And, Clay, I'm sure you took that dad day where you moved Sarah and Becca into the dorms and hauling all that stuff up and down the stairs. And, it's one of those rites of passage, I guess, so to speak. The back-to-school sale is on right now at Cheap Sleep. And, man, you move into college, you might need a new mattress. You might need a maybe you're taking the one from home, and now you get a better one in the guest bedroom or whatever at home. Right now, they've got some deals going on at Cheap Sleep in Bentonville, in Springdale, in Fort Smith, and in Conway that can help get that college-bound student into that dorm room and looking great. They got mattresses, box springs, and frames for start at $299. Gel memory foam mattresses with everything you need at $399. And there's even more savings on sofas and love seats and sectionals starting at $899. Then if mom and dad want to get something new for the house, how about a free Split King mattress with the purchase of a Split King adjustable starting at $15.99. So you can have huge savings right now during the back-to-school sale going on at Cheap Sleep. Again, Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith, and in Conway. Let them know you heard it right here on the Morning Rush. They got some free extras, some free gifts for you. It's all at Cheap Sleep. Again, Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith, and in Conway.
Barcelona, Clay, that's where the basketball team is at. They'll take on them later on at 1:30 today. That makes it what, Tommy? Is it 8:30 over there, 7:30?
It's a 7-hour difference, so 7:30, I
7:30 over there.
No, 7 and 1 would be 8:30.
8:30. Yeah. Okay, so I said it right the first time. Yeah. Nikola Mirotic used to play on the Bulls, Bucks, some other teams. Alex Abrines played for the Thunder. Nigel Hayes played for Wisconsin. They got some dudes on this roster that they're going to take on later on today. This will be much more competitive. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Arkansas lost later on this afternoon. What did you make of the game? I didn't even ask. Did you buy the game? Did you buy the package for Tuesday?
No, I did not. No. You're talking about Flow Sports?
Correct.
No, I did not buy that. I've seen some of the highlights. I'm kind of glad I didn't buy it for the first game. Maybe I will for the game this afternoon because it sounds like that's going to be more like a game we're used to seeing. Now that was like playing a junior high team, the first game, and I mean they were.
Don't insult the junior high teams.
Yeah, I mean it's like it was. Let's just say it was like playing a junior high team from Kansas. Not an Arkansas junior high team. I don't know what Kansas junior high basketball is, but it's not. I didn't want to insult anybody like it, Ramey or anything. So, but yeah, I think they're going to get knocked around a little bit today, and I'm sure that's going to be the mission of these older dudes. We're going to test them a little bit, test their physicality, and see. Arkansas's got some guys that have played college basketball. It's not just the freshmen. So we'll see how that goes. The highlights that I saw in the information that was put forth by Eric Musselman, the player that I thought was going to be the sleeper out of the bunch that no one was talking about, Barry Dunning, and that came to be true. I'm interested to see how he plays going forward.
Yeah, he started yesterday. He had some good things to say about Barry after practice, during practice. Remember, Gatorade Player all the year in Alabama. All right, we'll talk some football camp coming up.
Streaming live from HitThatLine.com.
This is former Razorback Chris Gregg, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
Roger Scott for Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Hot temps, hot peppers, hot Cheetos, they're not the only thing that's hot right now. This month, the deal for you at Leaf Guard of Arkansas, it's red hot. It's the $99 sale. Well, what's that mean, you ask? No, don't get ahead of me. I was just about ready to tell you. Okay, now I'm ready to tell you. What was the question? Right. What does the $99 sale mean at Leaf Guard of Arkansas? Well, I'm glad you asked. $99 down on a whole house job, $99 a month, and $99 for installation. And that gets your house outfitted with the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market. And it's also guaranteed to never, ever clog. Get rid of those old gutters and all that muck and mud and shingle grit. Get it out of your life. It's the hot deal of the month at Leaf Guard of Arkansas. The $99 sale, $99 down, $99 a month, $99 for installation. To get it started, just call the experts at Leaf Guard of Arkansas at 501-664-5400 or check them out at leafguardandmore.com.
Are you looking for a career that is in demand and will provide you and your family the living you all deserve? Are you willing to put in the time to learn that profession? If the answer is yes, you need to contact United Welding Institute today. Welders are in demand in-state and across the country for many different types of welding. United Welding Institute has recently placed students from the River Valley with very high-paying employers, and they want to do the same for you. Call today and make an appointment for your future. 479-968-3390. That's 479-968-3390 for United Welding Institute in Pottsville, and tell them you heard it on ESPN Arkansas.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road-ready premium pre-owned vehicles, each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith, where it's happy hour all day, every day. Stop by anytime and try our $4 cocktails. Choose from a Bloody Mary, Cape Cod, Tequila Sunrise, Whiskey Sour, and more. There's also $5 glasses of wine, and Miller Lite 12-ounce drafts are always just $2. Get to TGI Fridays for lunch Monday through Friday for our $9.99 burger deal, available until 3 p.m. and comes with fries and a soft drink, tea, or Miller Lite draft. Order online for pickup at Fridays.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Jefferson off play action, going to throw deep again, got a man. Burks at the 25, complete. He's going to score. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
Just got an update on practice times later on in the day. And with fall camp going on, and having the pad starting today. I know pad popping is something we always like to talk about. We'll talk more about the slobber knocking. Is that what's the old phrase that y'all used to call in fall
I think it used to be that. I think maybe more like thudding up. We'll talk about it in just a second. Hey, with the games getting underway and everything starting soon, World of Wireless is going to be the place you want to turn to make sure you have TV ready to go, whether it's at your tailgate, your deer camp, or wherever you may want to watch on the go. They've got the tailgater system that you can take with World of Wireless along anywhere. It's easy to set up. Just need clear line of sight, need power, plug in your dish satellite receiver to it, and hey, in a matter of minutes, you've got live TV with all your favorite channels at deer camp, at your tailgate, going to the lake, your second home, wherever it may be, and it makes it easy and affordable with World of Wireless. Find out about the tailgater system. Get them now before the season begins. 877-305-DISH for WOW World of Wireless.
Clay, everyone thinks that all Isaiah has to do as a young freshman is catch and run the ball, but there's some other elements in order to get on the field as a young buck that you have to do to play for any college football team.
Yeah, that's right. And, that understanding the playbook is part of it, but the physicality of SEC football is what he has to master. He knows that, and it's blocking. And, you're going to run the ball at Arkansas, and if you put a wide receiver out there, he's going to have to man up and get his guy. And, whether he just knocks him down, that's not it. But get him off the line of scrimmage, shield him, and not allow the guy just to go through him. And he's not a big guy. He's not played against, a 205 or 220-pound safety that just blows him up. So that's what they're going to find out about him this week. And I bet he does fine, but it will be an adjustment, and it will be something that makes his head swim a little bit.
I think it takes just a little bit of time for any position. There's rare as it is a true freshman that can step foot on campus and looks like they play college. The one guy, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, the one guy that I saw last year as a true freshman that looked like he had been in a college weight room was Raheem Rocket Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at 6'2", 200-something pounds, seeing him as a senior high school, I was like, this guy looks like he could play college ball immediately. And he did last year as a true freshman. There's not many others like that.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, but I'll remind you that he got here in January, and he went through the winter off-season program. He didn't look like he did in August when he got here in January. So, and Isaiah elected to run track, which, is fine. He set a bunch of records, and he did not want to give that, his last track season in high school sports where he was going after national records as well as state records. But what Rocket did in those two off seasons, the winter and then the summer, was add about 15 pounds of just rock solid muscle, and he's added, he's even leaner and bigger now. I mean, his arms just look incredible. But you're right. He was someone that hit the ground running, but he didn't have to carry the load. If you go back and you look, he was a spot player. And, just didn't start. Dominic Johnson didn't start till the last 6 games. It was Traylon Smith. So those guys, all those freshmen, they had the luxury in Dominic of playing behind somebody and kind of just coming in and, getting 10 snaps here, there, each game and developing. And I think that's what you'll see from Isaiah.
Yeah, I think it never hurts when a guy is running track. I mean, sometimes it's hard to put on the good weight that you want because just the process of going through track eats into so many calories and whatever. But I think you'll see him develop that body more as he's not doing that. I mean, those are things you only get a chance to do once in high school. But the speed is something that Arkansas has had moments of, Clay, but just that burner speed, we have not seen enough of that in the last 5 years, and that's one of the welcome additions there.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I think you'll see a lot of Malik Hornsby in different roles. Just you can't substitute that speed, and that you're right. And that was the thing that they were missing in the Danny Ford era, that they just didn't have enough speed sprinkled around different places on the team. And Houston Nutt fixed that. And I think that's been lacking, the last few years. And I think Sam Pittman and his staff have worked really hard to add speed. And speed, size, all across the board continues to arrive at Arkansas. And Isaiah, he's going to run track at Arkansas. So you're never going to see him, get a year round of, football weightlifting. So I think you'll see him stay around a certain weight, but you'll see him mature physically and mentally, and that's as much anything. What you got to see from him the next 2 or 3 weeks is the mental part of getting knocked around. And does his body hold up? Because you just don't know, and it's a mental game at this point.
And it's an adjustment.
It is
at this level. Hey, if you're tired of constant computer issues at work, you need someone to turn to. We had a kind of a major issue a week ago with a router system, and hey, Hashtag Managed IT Services, along with our team here, was right on the money, taking care of that issue. And it took way into the night, but guess what? We came up with a solution between Hashtag and our team here at ESP in Arkansas. They take a multifaceted approach to make sure everything you have when it comes to the technology keeps working. So if you want people that are going to be there for you when, hey, when the computer network goes down, everything else stops a lot of times in your business. It's the same way here. 479-802-4978. Daryl and Hashtag are the people you can count on. That's 802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headaches.
We'll get into our SEC update coming up. One quarterback competition in this conference has been officially stopped. Eli Drinkwitz has named his starter. We'll get Clay's take on that and more next.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Hey everybody, this is Justin Moore, and you're listening to The Morning Rush. Woo pig.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Hello, this is Sue from the paint store in Van Buren. We are set and ready for all your spring and summer projects. We keep real samples of your Richards paint on file so we can be sure it matches every time. No computer can do that. The paint store in Van Buren. Color expertise and 34 years of knowledge outweighs all the competition. No other paint seller can do that. The paint store in Van Buren, Fayetteville Road, 474-4505.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Calling all fans of flavor, there's something new at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Fridays Fajitas. Fajitas you love in bold new flavors like dynamite shrimp, tandoori chicken, and the spicier whiskey glazed blaze Tex-Mex. Right now, get free chips and queso with any Fajitas order. Dine in or order online for curbside pickup at Fridays.com. New Fridays Fajitas at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
You have a job, kids, and a million things to do in no time, and now your car needs to be serviced or fixed or tires? Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Free shuttle service. Pickup delivery service free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier and take better care of your vehicle at the same time. Hi, Kim Bircher. See, the thing is, Jody'sAuto.com does everything. Everyday oil change specials. Tires are price matched, including the warehouse clubs and all the best brands. Any services, brakes, alignments, all the way to engines, and any maintenance. You are trusting your vehicle to a local company in business for 37 years. Voted best of the best time and time again. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. JODYS Auto.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
So one quarterback challenge has been named on the West, but in the Southeastern Conference. Missouri native Brady Cook has been named the starting quarterback in Missouri. It is nice to not have to go through that process like you had to under Chad Morris for 2 straight years, where you didn't know who that starting quarterback was going to be. You had no idea what the offense was going to look like. It is somewhat of a reassurance for you as an Arkansas fan that you know exactly what you're getting from the kid from Sardis, Mississippi.
It's a lot less anxiety. You think back to that. They didn't know who the starter was going to be during those Chad Morris years. Sometimes the coaches portray that, but they really know. They want to have a battle, even though they, trying to encourage who can really win the number 2 spot. I think truly in the Chad Morris days, they didn't know who their best quarterback was, and it kind of changed week to week with them. So as we saw with who they chose to start week to week, it often changed. So yeah, it's good to not even have that anxiety. And really, we haven't had a ton of conversation about who the number 2 is going to be. We've kind of said it's Hornsby, but is Fortin going to be that guy? I mean, I think that's still an interesting thing, and it doesn't really matter as long as you got an upright, able-bodied K.J. Jefferson.
When are we going to hear about Ole Miss, Auburn, A&M, and LSU? When are we going to hear about this competition? So are they going to keep it to that? You don't think they're going to name it like Drink just did with Missouri? Like a week or so out? Or you think game week?
I don't even understand why Drinkowitz would do it. I mean, why give – who's their opening opponent? I don't know. They start with Louisiana Tech. All right, so maybe it doesn't matter as much there. Ole Miss starts with Troy. Maybe it doesn't matter as much there. LSU, Florida State. Why would you want to give them that information? Now, so if LSU's got 2 or 3 guys, Ole Miss got 3 guys, make them cut up all those quarterbacks. Make them understand who it might be. Make them try to dig for a little intel. That's just the way my mind works, though, is why hand your opponent that information? What benefit do you gain? You can announce it internally. Your team can know, but why say anything outside your own 4 walls?
Does that get out a lot of times if it's announced internally? Like, is it pretty easy to figure out that was the case? Were you pretty sure Ben Hicks was going to be the starting quarterback prior to the second season or Chad Morris, and I guess
I think things, there are things that we have found out after the fact that were going on that no one even heard a rumbling of, not even a whisper of in Sam Pittman's program. So, I can't speak to how Brian Kelly's going to run it or what Lane Kiffin does, but I think it's important that the team knows who their leader is, but I think the team picks the quarterback more than the coaches pick the quarterback. I think the way you see the players respond in the huddle, the way they come out and execute the play, the way they respond to the voice and the way the play is called, who they get up and play harder for. I think the team often chooses who the starting quarterback's going to be when it's close.
You don't think there's any reason or any public? I would tend to agree with you outside of that. So why do you think he did it? What's the rationale for him doing that? Is it that obvious?
Maybe
that
it's
just like
maybe it's that obvious. And I mean, I haven't followed the Missouri camp, so I can't really tell you how close that battle may or may not have been. But there's been times at Arkansas. I mean, last year might be an example. Looked pretty much like KJ's job, but there was a quarterback battle in camp. This year, there's not even it's not even a point of conversation.
Coach talked about it at SEC Media Days.
That's to respect the other player. I mean, the battle is is there even a battle for the number 2 spot?
I don't think so, but I've been wrong before. I tend to agree with you.
Is Hornsby really the number 2 quarterback? If something happened to I find all that interesting. We get to watch so little of the scrimmages. The Saturdays are what's going to determine that.
I hope we never have to find out.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's not an issue till your starter's not able-bodied.
I don't really care who's the second stringer. That's the mindset is I hope I don't have to care about who's playing second string quarterback. Even though that KJ's been injured not once but twice in his. So he injured in 2019. And then injured in 2021. Yeah, so 2 of the 3 years that he's played football for you, he's been injured.
Cade Fortin's got a real opportunity in practice to look good against the ones. I assume he's going to take those snaps. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, Renfro's injured, so I don't know who else they've got working, against the ones with the scout team. But you look good there. You look good going and throwing against Slusher or Catalan, or you look good getting the play into the huddle, getting your team to the line of scrimmage, everybody organized. Those are the things that coaches notice. Can you get the playoff right and everybody where they're supposed to be? So he's got a real opportunity to do that in practice, and I think catch the eye of Kendall Briles.
Keep it going here in your SEC update. Got some bad news. Mike Bianco got a 4-year extension and now is the second highest paid coach in college baseball, according to Kendall Rogers. And it was the same way with Vitello. You're just like, College World Series. Now Ole Miss had to go win a national championship. But I remember asking Dave, postseason press conference, like, what is Ole Miss and Mississippi State winning national championships back-to-back years? Does that make it more difficult to recruit, or does that help you? I can't remember 100% his answer, but I am curious, like behind closed doors, what Dave thinks about his salary and coaching salary, because they've grown significantly in college baseball the last couple years. What he thinks about that.
Well, I think anytime another coach in your league gets a raise, it's good for you, because that just means, that's a rising tide that has lifted all boats in football. I think it's the same in basketball, and I don't think it's any different in baseball. Not that, it's changed a lot over the last 10 years in particular, maybe the last 5. But this is what comes on. This is the spoils of winning the national championship. This is the fruits that go to the victor. So Bianco's a veteran coach. He's the most senior coach right behind Dave in this league. This is what happens when you win a national championship. And now there'll be a new mark. And if Dave can be the next one, guess what? He'll get a new contract. So Mike Bianco's going to be a lifer there now. That's one thing you do know.
It would be real nice to have 3 SEC West teams win back-to-back national championship, and the team that's in Cardinal and red do it this year. That would just be – and as the SEC, Greg Sankey, he didn't have to say much about football, and then to say that about baseball. Basketball's still lagging behind a little bit. The farthest you've gotten last 2 years, the Elite Eight. Your program has done that. You're the program. Your basketball program's been holding up the water the last 2 years. You got these other teams that – they can't handle their pails, their lunch pails, and all that crap. They lose them. They fall over. But you are the ones. It's like when Mowgli in the Jungle Book was walking back with the well water. Like the other teams are toppling over. You're the one that actually is holding it up and making it back to camp.
Well, there's 5 programs in the SEC West as it is now that are championship-level programs. And LSU hasn't been as good as they have been years gone by, but they're still a program that can compete at that level. We've obviously seen the 2 Mississippi schools do it. Arkansas is in that conversation, and A&M is as well. You know, Alabama, Auburn, don't really consider them. Now, I don't know what the baseball divisions or how that setup's going to be when Texas and OU joins the league, but as we saw this last College World Series and this last postseason, those are 2 programs that are right there as well. So, the West isn't going to get any easier if Texas and OU end up in it. I don't know how that's exactly going to play out in baseball. None of us do, but things aren't going to get easier moving forward when the conference expands.
It is going to be nice to have Oklahoma in this league from the standpoint that will be the closest in proximity to you of any school, right? Ole Miss is
depending on where you live, closest to campus.
Yeah. That's I need to be clear about that. Closest to Fayetteville. Norman's 2.5, 3 from Fayetteville.
Maybe 3.5,
give or take.
Yeah.
That's the
never driven it from there.
That proximity. When you think about rivalries in sports, one of the best ones is Tobacco Road, which they're 21 miles. Tobacco
I think they're
Road,
like 9 point something.
9
it's
point
like
something.
10 miles.
20. I always mix that up. I think it's like 20 minutes, whatever the miles. I drove it. Yeah, it's 20 minutes. I drove to the campus. I don't know why I'm asking you. I literally drove it this summer, this summer from Chapel Hill to Duke and Durham. That helps enhance. It's the best one in our state. And y'all are gonna have to help me. What it's called? What's the Henderson State and
Washita and Henderson
called?
The Battle of the Ravine.
Battle of the Ravine.
And they are literally across the street. I mean, I've been to both campuses many times. You literally walk from one to the team doesn't bus over. They walk across the street to play. I mean, when you pull up, I don't forget what state highway that is that runs between the 2 campuses, but their driveways don't quite meet, but they almost meet to go into the campuses.
Man, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's
is.
A good one. That's going to do it for your SEC update. It is brought to you by Ashley Air.
Hey, when you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. That's Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or a $129 drain cleaning with a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Some restrictions apply. If you got clogged drains or a leaky faucet, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service today. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Basketball, 1:30 today, taking on Barcelona in just a bit. Should be a much better game. This will not be a blowout, I don't think. I don't anticipate. Could be wrong about that, but I know you've got stuff. I'm blocking off my schedule. I'll be at Hardee's today later on from 11 to 1, Phoenix location here in Fort Smith, and then I am gunning to watch this game. I'm going probably back to the house, and I'm going to watch this. I want to see what they can do.
This is a much better measuring stick of where this program's at. I guess I'm most interested to see what the stat line for Nick Smith is today against what's believed to be a much better level of competition.
You do the Nick Smith tracker this season. After every game, I want you to read off his stats and statistics, and I need you to rank his performance from 1 to 10.
Because how he goes is how the team goes, is my belief, and I think a lot of people would. I don't think that's a insightful. Boy, you've spent a lot of time studying take. I mean, I think that's just he's your best player. As he plays, that's how far the team's going to go. So. Does the defensive intensity pick up today? What does Muss say after the game about the way they played defense? That was something he was pretty clear about. He didn't like the way they played defense the other night. I don't think they did because they didn't have to. Yeah. Today they may have to play defense a bit more.
Yes,
Can they will. Can they crank it up?
And that's the question. Sometimes the simplest answer is the right one. People are afraid sometimes to give you the simple answer because it doesn't look like you put any effort. But as you just said, as Nick Smith goes, the team goes. And that's a simple answer. It's not a well-thought-out answer, but it's the right answer with this basketball team.
And I know there'll be a Zoom with Muss after the game. Hopefully, if you're on there, ask this question. How did this team compare to SEC-level competition? That would be a good question to get Coach to answer when the game's over. Is this a team that would be in the top half of the SEC? What kind of team did you play in regards to an SEC talent today?
They got Pittman at 4:30, and then Eric must be somewhat in that time as well. So you'll have 2 good press conference. Find those press conferences on hitthatline.com and our YouTube channel as well. They're always on there. It's been a good Thursday show. Appreciate Tom Murphy. Appreciate Clay Henry. Chuck Barrett will be back with us tomorrow on a Football Friday. For Drew Barrett, for Tom Murphy, for Clay Henry, and Tommy Kraft, I'm Ty Richardson. Everyone have a great rest of your Thursday, and don't spend it sitting on your hands. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
How much life can you fit in a 2022 Toyota?
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait! Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe can get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.